Bedding da? Beth hwn da?
Dim fi.
Dim
Oedd
fi.
dim fi.
Eh? O, wtio dŵr. Ie, pa micso, di, byddai'n gweithio nawr. Bydd yn iawn nawr. Helo! Mae pob man, ti'n gweld helo i nhw? Ie. Ni'n pallu mynd o hyn, gwybod. Mae'n iawn, ond jyst pallu mynd o fel.
Chat ti, no?
Fi'n neud i byd. Fi'n neud i byd. Dyna poc Johnny? O, na.
So ti dod? Bydd magwn yna nôl, bydd yn cael ffesni efo'r magwn yma na. Wedi na, okay.
O, ie, ond es mae'n... Wow na re, wow na re, wow na re. Wow na re. Right. So clear about. Right. She's probably going to come back. Right, hang on. I love my niece, love her. But it's hard to stream and have your niece here as well. Right, please remember to like the video because we've only got like 3 likes or something. There's more people here. So I'm so sorry that I'm so disorganized. Let's get out of that one then. Here. This will be 1.5 again. Subtitles. Yes. Present. You give it a couple more minutes for people to get in here. But yeah, she was so upset she broke the Wellington. Right. We got Emma here, we got Nunia here, we got Hannah here, we got Emma again. Hello everybody. Right. We got more people here that we have likes, so please make sure you like. Thank you, had a major brain fart with the word subtitle. Right. I need to go back in there now. I need to this one and this one. I'm going to put into. Oh, it's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. I need to take it away from being live chat replay. No. Oh, I don't know. I'll do it once we start this. So, tiddly poop. I was going to say tiddly poop, twiddly pip. So, yes, because no one could understand it, twiddly pip. No one could understand it. It was a case of, let's just watch this then. I'll play 1.5 because we've also got the other one, obviously, but I'm going to play the other one on 1.5 because it's so slow, it drags. So, yes, you got it right. You got it right. Yes, you got it right. It's about shooting, hospital shooting. Hospital shooting. Tiddly poop is a good one. Sorry, just came to my head. Tiddly poop, tuddy pip. It's all right. Let's watch it then. Let's see it. This is a hospital one.
Regarding the fifth, we've got the role with the acceptance previously placed on the record.
All right, thank you. Each side is instructed to instruct their witnesses not to remain in the courtroom while testimony is going on, and for those who testify, not to discuss their testimony with any other witness or any other individual involved in this trial. All right, does the state wish to make an opening statement?
Go
Go ahead.
Thank you. Counsel. Ladies and gentlemen,
You would
No.
think the maternity ward in a hospital would be the happiest place on earth. New parents basking in the joy of bonding with, spending time with their newborn bonus of joy. You would also think it would be the safest place in the world. If mothers, fathers.
Yes, Christine, we're catching that, Christine. Obviously, it's now currently on day 2, but this is day 1, yes.
Hospital staff members take the utmost care to protect the small, newborn, precious babies. However, that image came crashing down on October 22nd, 2022. When this defendant, Nestor Hernandez, wreaked hell on earth at Methodist Central Hospital, not a 5-minute drive from where we sit today. You see, he was angry. He was angry with his child's mother, Selena Villatoro, because he suspected that she was cheating on him. So on October 22nd, 2022, he took a beer, he took a gun, and he took a mindset of murder to the maternity ward at Methodist Central Hospital. He got on the floor, the 4th floor of Methodist Central Hospital, the Central Tower, where the maternity ward is located, actually called technically the postpartum unit, approximately 10:38. At that time, he proceeded to the room of Selena Villatoro, and she will tell you everything, all the horrors, all the terror that happened in that room that day. He entered the room, she said he had a can of beer, and you actually see that on some surveillance video from the hospital. She said automatically she knew there was going to be a problem. So, she knows how he gets.
Too quick, guys.
She was saying that he became irate. He began.
Is 1.5 too quick, guys? Because I can handle it, but I'm just wondering if everyone is okay with 1.5. I can put it 1.25. It's not an issue.
To accuse her of having somebody inside the room. So he actually began checking the room. He checked inside the closet. He checked inside the restroom. Tell me who you have in here. Don't play with me. She didn't have, of course, anybody inside the room. At that point in time, he began to assault her. He took out the handgun and he began to hit her upside the head multiple times. He threatened to kill her. He threatened to kill himself. He said, "We're going to die today. We're going to be on the news." Not only that, she will tell you that he said the next person that comes into this room is going to die also. Unfortunately, the next person that entered that room was Methodist hospital worker, social worker Jackie McCool. Unsuspectingly, she was going in to complete some paperwork with Selena. Routine paperwork, just doing her job, just like everybody else in the hospital that day. Selena will tell you that the defendant got up off the couch. He walked behind Ms. McCool, and he shot her in the head, killing her instantly. She fell on the floor. At that time, the defendant walks toward the front door of the hospital room, pulls up his gun, and he aims, and he shoots. At that time, by the grace of God, Sergeant Robert Mondale of the Methodist Police Department was on the floor, attending to an unrelated call. You're here from Sergeant Mondale this morning. He will tell you.
Okay, hang on. So we got. It's okay. It's fine. Thanks, Em. It's a bit quick. Yeah, Emma's a bit slow, so we'll slow it. Yeah, 1.5. Yeah, no worries. 1.25 minutes. 1.25 minutes. Me and Hannah, our IQs are too high. It's fine. 1.25. There we are.
That he heard the gunshot. Now, at that point in time, he didn't know what it was. Of course, nobody would suspect hearing a gunshot in the maternity ward, right? So he began to walk towards the room to investigate the origin of the sound. At that point in time, the other complainant in this case, Katie Annette Flowers, a nurse in Methodist Hospital, again, just doing her job like everybody else in the hospital. She heard the sound as well. You'll see on video, both her and Sergeant Mondale kind of converged there in the front door of the room. That's when the defendant, again, draws up his gun. He fires a shot, a couple of shots, into the room, or into the hallway. And at that point in time, he strikes Katie Flowers in the neck. She's able to muster enough strength. Obviously, knowing she's injured at that point, bleeding, as you will see on video, to make it down to the nurse's station, where she collapses. And later she succumbs, unfortunately, to her injuries. She passes away. At that point in time, Sergeant Mondale engages with the defendant. Selena will tell you that the defendant, at that point in time, he was not done with his rampage. He goes back inside the room. He begins to reload the weapon. He begins to walk outside of the room. At that point in time, Sergeant Mondale engages with the defendant, firing one time and striking the defendant in the leg. The defendant retreats back inside the room. He collapses. He drops the gun. Selena is able to secure the weapon. At this point in time, multiple officers have converged on the room, both Memphis police officers and Dallas police officers, giving loud commands throughout the weapon. Let them go. Let them out of the room. Let her out. And I neglected to mention, most importantly, that newborn 2-day-old baby. J.D. Sanchez, was inside the room the whole time, in the arms of his mother, Selena Militoro, as this defendant assaults her by pistol whipping her with the weapon. Selena is able to secure the weapon, and she throws it outside the room as the officers are ordering them to do. At that point in time, the officers are able to make entry into the room and they take the defendant into custody. You will see all this for yourselves. And multiple officers will testify. They all had on body cams. We'll show you that video today. You will see the officers make entry into the room. You will see the officers take the defendant into custody. You will see the defendant's face on camera multiple times. They lay him on the ground and they begin to administer him first aid for his gunshot wound to his right leg. Now, isn't that ironic that officers have raced to the scene to try and save this man's life as he bleeds out while he has just killed 2 people? But of course, he's here today. You will hear forensic evidence that will show you that the defendant's DNA was all over the crime scene, all over the weapon used in this case to kill these 2 individuals. You hear that there was gunshot residue on his hands. You will hear that the firearm that he used in this offense matched to the ballistics at the crime scene, including fire and shell casings, as well as projectiles that were recovered from the bodies of the victims during their autopsies. The evidence in this case is very clear, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you'll see video, you'll see forensic evidence, you'll see photographs. The evidence in this case is overwhelming. There will be no reasonable doubt. The state will prove to you each and every element of the indictment that I just read to you that this defendant is guilty of killing 2 individuals during the same criminal transaction. The victims in this case, Jacqueline Couture, Katie Annette Flowers. There will be no reasonable doubt at the close of this case that this defendant, Nestor Hernandez, is guilty of the offense of capital murder. And I ask that you apply your guilt. Thank you.
Thank you, counsel.
Very good. Yeah, please work. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be very brief. I think everybody yesterday that was involved in the board hour selection process very eloquently spoke about the rules of law that apply and what your duties are as jurors in this case. As I stand here before you, I stand here knowing that every one of you is very aware that we have no burden in this case, that the burden rests on this table. And what I'm going to do at this time is I'm going to just ask you, because as the prosecutor stood here and gave his version of what he believes this evidence is going to show, I believe that the evidence in this case is going to have some twists and turns that they're not anticipating. And I tell you that because, again, you will judge the evidence on the totality of the evidence that's provided to you. And I'm going to stand here now and only ask you to do one thing. Do not make your mind up about anything until both sides have rested in court. Wait to hear everything that may be presented before you start forming an opinion about the guilt of the defendant in this case. Because I submit to you that when all the evidence is before you in this case, that the proper verdict will be a verdict of guilty to a lesser offense, the lesser offense of murder as opposed to capital murder. And I believe that the reasons why will become self-evident during the course of this trial. So keep an open mind, please. Do what you guaranteed us that you would do yesterday to board hour, and do your job as jurors and stay that way to the totality.
Okay, that makes sense. So he's guilty. He knows he's guilty. It's about capital murder against murder. So it's basically death penalty versus life in jail, I imagine. So that's what it is. He's guilty. You just said we'll find him guilty at a lesser charge of, capital murder, not capital murder. Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense.
State, call your first witness.
Yes, Your Honor. The state calls Kevin Wilson.
So there's no plea deal because they're just like capital murder. Right. I hope Sarpi, you're on this. Because it's Texans, I don't understand how they speak. So who's this guy?
Raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Here we go. Techie. But it's Texas. Oh, by the way, you all got through. I was going to message you back. Sorry, Mecky. I was going to message you back. I completely forgot. My niece has been with me. Oh my God, what a nightmare. But thank you, Mecky Techie. You know why. Mwah. Love my BFF. So yeah, this is what it's about now. So it's going to be capital murder versus life in jail, basically, without parole. So yeah, new trial. Yes, Jan. So obviously we still got the other trial, which we'll be watching straight after this one. But this is the Dallas hospital murder. And this is basically he's guilty, but now is it capital murder v life in prison without parole is how I read it. So welcome everybody here, even though there's only 3 people here apparently. But oh, that's weird. 2 people now. What the? But anyway, let's go. Strap yourselves in and let's go.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Yeah, so
Doing well, thank you. If you could please introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling it for the court reporter, please.
my name is Kevin Bonsu, KEVIN BONSU.
Kevin, do you live here in Dallas?
No,
Okay, where do you live?
I live in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay, do you work for a living?
Yes.
What do you do for work?
Come again?
What do you do for work?
I'm a network engineer at Harvard University.
Harvard University?
Yes.
Now, Kevin, do you know one of the deceased in this case, Jacqueline McCool?
Yes, she's my sister.
Mr. Russell, Mr. Charlie.
Yes, you may.
Kevin, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 1. Is this your sister, Jacqueline McCool?
Yes.
Sign around State's Officer, State's Exhibit number 1.
Okay.
All right, State's Exhibit number 1 is admitted for all purposes.
Mr. Russell, agree on that? Thank you. Kevin, your sister Jacqueline, she lived in Dallas County at the time of her death on October 22nd, 2022.
Yes.
Was she originally from Dallas?
She's from Ghana. She was born in Ghana.
How's the audio, guys? I can go up a little bit more. I don't go up too much because the echo. But how is it? Do you want to read up a little bit more?
And do you know when she came to the United States?
She came to the United States somewhere around 1998
And do you remember for what purpose she came to the United States from Ghana?
to go to school,
I'm sorry?
to further her education, to go to college. Yeah.
Okay, and what kind of education did she receive here in the United States?
She went to college for. She went to college for social work.
Did you and your sister have any other siblings?
Yes.
Okay, how many siblings do you have?
We're 7 in total.
Okay, can you tell me their names?
Michael Ojo Befi.
And how old is Michael?
Michael is 43.
Okay, go ahead.
Clara Bonsu,
How old is Claire?
35.
Okay,
Osei Boche,
if you could spell the name for the court, I'm sorry. Could you spell say
OSEI
and the last name?
BOAKYE,
Okay, how say?
42.
Okay, next sibling.
Elsie Boche,
Can you spell that for the court, please?
ELSEBOAKYE.
How old is Elsie?
Elsie's around 42, 43.
Okay, next sibling.
Thelma Bonsu,
Can you spell that, please?
THELMABONSU,
Age?
32.
So a total of 7, is that correct?
Yes.
I love a Meki rant. I love Meki Seki. This dude brought a weapon into the delivery ward of the hospital where he then proceeded to beat his girlfriend with a weapon and accusing her of cheating. Yes. Yes. And killed some people. Yes. And, well, just to, I think did he kill 2 people? I'm not sure how many people he killed in the hospital, but he killed people. There we are, 2 people, I think, yeah. And he did it all in front of a 2-year-old boy as well.
Did Jacqueline have any children?
Yes.
How many children did she have?
One.
Son or daughter?
Son.
What was her son's name?
Nigel Kojobutiako.
Could you please spell that for the court reporter?
Nigel Kwado and Biadaiko.
How old is Nigel now?
13.
You know where Nigel lives?
Nigel lives in Ghana.
Did he live with his mother up until the point of her death?
Yes,
Do you know where Jackie lived while she was in the house?
in Mansfield, Texas.
And what did Jackie do for a living?
She was a social worker,
Do you know where she worked?
Methodist Hospital,
Do you know how long she worked there?
like a year.
Can you talk about Jackie's education? You know where she went to school?
She went to Winona College in Minnesota.
What's the name of the college?
Winona,
Can you spell it?
Winona.
Minnesota?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what kind of degree she received?
She received a bachelor's degree in health.
Do you know she received any other degrees?
She later moved to Dallas and did a master's degree in social work.
And so obviously you don't live here in Dallas, you live in Boston. How about your other siblings? Do they live here locally or do they live elsewhere?
Elsewhere.
I can't say anything. I just had my 3-year-old niece sulking on me for like half an hour for you guys, so I can't say anything. But yes, I don't know why the baby is crying in court. I don't know. Welcome to Texas, Jonathan. Wow, is this normal? Is it? Jesus. Jesus. My niece is trying to get back in, but we're blocking her from coming back in.
My son is still located in Ghana.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
This time the state is going to pursuant to a stipulation with the defense offered for record purposes only at this time. State's exhibit number 150. Sitting to counsel folks.
Yeah, just so the record was clear, the defense would stipulate that the same, the same person picking in State's Exhibit 150 is the same individual picking in State's Exhibit number 1.
All right, State's Exhibit number 150 is admitted for record purposes only.
Thank you. And at this time, the state would ask the witness.
And we have no questions, sir. Thank you.
May this witness be released?
Yes, sir. No objection, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. You're leaving.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, next witness.
Time the state calls Kelly Flowers.
Talk to me. Okay.
Good morning. If you could please introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling for the court reporter.
Hi, my name is Kelly Flowers, KELLYFLOWERS.
And Kelly, do you live here in Dallas County?
Yes.
Okay. Do you work for a living?
I'm a full-time student,
Okay. What do you study?
real estate.
Now, Kelly, do you know one of the deceased in this case, Katie Nett Flowers?
Yes, that's my mom.
Which is personal insurance?
Yes, you may.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 2. Is that a photograph of your mother?
Yes.
It's time the state's going to offer State's Exhibit number 2 to the council.
State's Exhibit 2 is admitted for all purposes.
Conditions of the jury, If you mind me asking, how old are you?
30.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have 3 siblings, Tracy, Rafe, and Sarah.
Okay, say their names again.
Tracy, Ralph, and Sarah.
You tell me how old Tracy is?
34? No, 39. 38. Okay, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm a terrible sister.
No worries, no worries. I want to ask you about the age of the two. Are they adults?
Yes,
Okay, they're in the courtroom for support today.
both my sisters are.
All right, where did your mother live here in Dallas?
Rowlett, Texas.
Okay, you know how long she lived there?
About 20, well, in Rowlett, probably about 30, 35 years.
Are there any grandchildren?
Yes,
Okay, how many grandchildren do you have?
4.
What did your mom do for a living?
She was a nurse,
You know, she worked at the time,
Methodist Dallas,
you know how long she worked there?
15 years,
And do you know how long that she was worked as a nurse?
41 years.
Did she have any kind of special training or degree in her field?
She did. She had an associate's degree from El Centro.
You know, she worked at any hospitals prior to working at Methodist.
While she worked at Methodist, she would pick up extra shifts at Sunnyvale Hospital, and then prior to that, she worked at Mesquite Community Hospital.
And what kind of patients did she work with while she worked at Methodist?
She worked with new mothers and their babies.
Okay, did she take particular joy or interest in that particular field of work?
Oh, absolutely. She loved teaching new moms how to breastfeed, how to take care of their new babies. She really encouraged breastfeeding, but of course, she would respect what the patient wanted to do.
And at the time of her death, was she working part-time or full-time in the hospital?
Part-time.
Okay, you remember the time of her shift when she would go in part-time?
She worked on the weekends. She would work 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay, about how long was she doing that?
10 years.
It's not around the states, pursuant to a state question of the defense, but office section 5164 for rich purposes only.
Apparently, I have no objection to the grade stipulate that the individual 164 stations, it was the same individual station.
Thank you. Stacy said at 164 is admitted for record purposes only.
Thank you, Your Honor. So on the date of October 22nd, 2022, and you may or may not know this, but did you know that was her regular shift to work that particular day?
Yes, it was.
I'll pass it to you, Your Honor.
We have no questions, thank you.
Thursday, this witness be released.
Okay,
Okay.
Thank you, Mary. Go ahead, next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. State's gonna call Selena Ventura.
Okay, her mother got killed. Okay, I'm with you.
Ms. Theodore, can you raise your right hand for me?
Okay.
You swear that the testimony you will give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth that help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Selena. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good.
Yeah, thank you for being here. If you could please introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling for the court reporter.
Selena Villatoro, Selena Villatoro.
Could you bring the mic a little bit closer to your mouth so y'all hear you, please? Talk directly to the microphone, okay? And speak loud for us. Selena, how old are you?
26.
Do you have any children?
Yes, sir.
How many children do you have?
Just one.
And what's your child's name?
Jaden Xavier Sanchez.
And how old is Jaden?
He's a year.
When is his birthday?
October the 21st,
And what year?
2022.
Now, Selena, do you know the defendant in this case, Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, sir.
How do you know Mr. Hernandez?
That's my baby daddy.
Were y'all in a relationship at some point?
Yes, sir.
How long have you known the defendant?
Since 2014.
And how would you describe your relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend?
On and off, yeah.
All right, Selena, I'm going to fast forward to the date of October 21st, 2022, okay, the date of birth of your baby Jaden. Do you recall going to the hospital that day?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall how you got there?
Yes, sir.
How'd you get there?
Dexter took me.
The defendant took you to the hospital that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At that point in time, did Nestor know that he was the father of the child?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What was his overall demeanor about you having his child?
He was happy.
Okay. Did he spend time at the hospital with you that day on the 21st?
Yes, sir.
Any problems, any issues that day with Nestor?
No, he was happy. He was taking care of my baby when I breastfeed.
All right, so let's go forward to the next day, October 22nd, 2022. Okay. Did Nestor return to the hospital that day?
Yes, sir.
Did you have any conversations with him prior to him coming to the hospital that day?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall the nature of the conversation that you had with him?
Yeah, he was happy. He was asking me if he should cut his hair so we could take pictures, and he just seemed happy.
And at some point, did he actually physically arrive at the hospital?
Yes, sir.
Was that around 10:30 a.m. that morning?
Yes, sir.
And did he come into your room around that time?
Yes, sir.
Can you describe, did he have anything in his hands when he came to the room at that time?
Yeah, when he came in, he had a beer in his hand.
And just for the record, I'm going to have you identify Mr. Hernandez. You still inside the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
Can you identify him by what he's wearing this morning?
Yeah, he's wearing the suit, the black suit.
And just so the record is clear, if I'm seated in seat number 1, my co-counsel is in seat number 2, defense counsel is 3 and 4, all the way down the line, what seat would he be seated in? What number?
He's in the fifth seat.
Let the record reflect the witness that identified the defendant over the courtroom.
The record will so reflect.
And so he comes inside the room that morning with a beer, selling him. What are your thoughts?
I'm mad
Why are you mad?
because I was tired, and I was just waiting for him to come so he could help me take care of our son. But I mean, as soon as I seen the beer in his hand, I was mad.
And so you mentioned your baby. Was the baby in the room with you at the time?
Yes, sir. He was asleep.
I didn't cut you off. Please say it. What would you answer?
Yes, sir. He was asleep.
He was sleeping. Okay. Was he with you or was he in somewhere else inside the room?
He was on the side in his little basket.
That's it.
He has a basket.
Okay. And at this point, he's a day old at this point. Your son.
Yes, sir.
So take us from there. What is Nestor's demeanor at that point in time?
Well, I really didn't notice because as soon as he came in and I seen the beer in his hand, I just laid down and I put a sheet over my head
Why'd you do that?
because I didn't want to argue with him. I was just mad. I just didn't want to talk to him.
Why were you upset that he had to beer with him that morning?
I mean, because our son's not even. He's just a day old. Like, that's not a place to. Like, who would do that? You know?
And so you put the sheet over your head because you didn't want to deal with it. What's the next thing that you want to happen?
I remember him calling his family, like his brother, and speaking with them, with his nieces, telling them that he loved them, and just talking to them for a little bit, telling them like to be good, and just, I don't know. I thought he was just drunk. That's why he was like being sentimental. Like, I didn't really think nothing of it.
Did he appear to you to be drunk or intoxicated at that time?
Oh, yes, sir.
What was it about him that made you feel like he was intoxicated?
I mean, just the way he was talking. Just, he was crying, talking to them. Just,
You said he was crying as well, something? I'm sorry.
he was talking to them, like, just, just being sentimental with them. That's how he usually is.
Okay, so you said he was telling him that he loved him,
Mm-hmm.
and you call anything else that he was telling him on the phone?
Just for them to be good. When he was talking to his nieces, he was telling them like just to be good, and yeah, he just told his brother he loved them, and just pretty much stuff like that.
And you felt at that time he was just being sentimental, is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Didn't think much of that?
No, sir.
So what happens next?
After I guess he gets done talking to them, I think I hear like the doors like from the closets opening, like he's like opening the closet door, slamming them, and then next thing I know he like throws the little sliding like desk that they have right there. He throws it and then he like hits me in my head with the gun, and he was telling me like just I don't know, just I think he told me like who's here or something like that. I can't remember.
And so, just to kind of take this step by step, you said he begins opening up the door of the closet, is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
At this point in time, is the sheet still over your head, or were you able to see what he's doing at that point?
No, whenever he hit me in my head, I took the sheet over my head and I was like, what are you doing? You know, like chilling. And the first thing I thought it was like, cause the beer has like spilled, and I spilled the whole beer like in the room, and I was like telling him to clean it up, you know, cause I mean the nurses were gonna come in, and I just didn't, you know, like I don't know, I was just, you know, thinking about my son, like they smell the beer, they're probably gonna, you know, like get involved or something.
Okay, so you mentioned that at the point would you describe him as being angry?
Yes, sir.
You had mentioned that he had thrown the table inside the room, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Is that when the beer got spilled? You mentioned some beer spilling. Is that when the beer got spilled?
Yes, sir.
You indicated that he looked inside the closet. Did he look anywhere else inside the room that you were in?
I think the restroom.
Was there anybody else inside the room at that time?
No.
So he indicated that you had a sheet over your head and he began to hit you in the head with a gun. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you know when he had entered the hospital and specifically to your room that he had a gun at that point?
No, no, sir.
Did you see where he pulled the gun from?
No, no, sir.
You just felt him hitting you with the gun.
Yes, sir.
Do you recall how many times he struck you with the gun?
I think the first time was just once. Just once.
Is he making any statements while this is happening? Saying anything to you?
I think he was just like saying like that he had told me to stop playing with him, and he was just telling me stuff like that we're gonna die today. Just stuff like that.
Okay. So you said that as he's striking you with the gun, he's making these statements. What do you know what he is looking for when he's looking around the room?
No, probably. I mean, I really don't. I don't know. Probably somebody.
I mean, this is very sad. Very, very sad. Very, very sad. Taylor, hello, Taylor. Yes, they are. So it's so I from what I read, right, it's a capital case murder. Well, I think he's pleaded not guilty to capital. Hernandez pleaded not guilty to the charges as the trials began, so he's pleaded not guilty. He's charged with capital murder in a shooting of social worker Jacqueline Pocua and nurse Katie Annette Flowers. He is also charged with aggravated assault of a peace officer. But he's pleaded not guilty for capital murder, is my understanding. But yes, hello, Taylor. Anyway, lovely to see you. Thanks for being here, Taylor.
And so he made a statement saying that y'all were going to die that day. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Did he mention if anybody else was going to die?
Yes, sir. He was saying that whoever walked in the room
Hey,
was gonna
Taylor.
die with us, and just
This is
Anything
disgusting.
about people knowing about what he had done or what he's going to do inside the room that day? Did he mention anything about being on the news?
Oh yes, sir. Yeah, he was saying that we were gonna make the news. That saying that we were gonna just pretty much die, and that he was gonna take anybody else with whoever walked in the room, and that we're gonna make the news.
So at this point, the sheet is off your head. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to see the gun at that point?
Yes, sir.
If you recall, can you describe what the gun looked like?
Oh, it was black. Yeah,
Was it a small gun, medium gun, big gun?
it was small.
Is it the kind of gun that you hold inside your hand, like a handgun?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so he's making the statements about the guys dying and anybody else coming inside the room being killed. Is that correct?
Allegedly.
Okay. Is that correct, those statements he was making?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what happens at that point?
I'm still trying to like plead with him, like telling him to clean the room, and he was just like, he just kept repeating himself, like just that why was I playing with him or just stuff like that. And then he had asked me like to press the call button because I guess like they were taking too long or something.
Let's back up a little bit, Celine. Did anybody else come inside the room?
Yeah, but I think that was before anything happened.
Okay.
Yeah,
Who came inside the room?
it was I think like a nurse. She had brought me some medication.
Okay. Was she black, white, or Hispanic?
I honestly can't remember.
And so the nurse comes inside the room, and what happens when she's inside the room?
She was asked, like, she gave me the medication, and I was gonna pay for it, so I had asked them if he could give me my bag, and he just threw it at me, and then I got the money.
Hi, Sherry.
I paid the nurse, and then like she just walked out. Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Did anybody else come inside the room a little later on?
No, sir. No.
So just going back to when the defendant is assaulting you with a gun, he's hitting you with a gun, he's making these statements about killing you all and killing anybody else who comes inside the room. Was the door open or closed at that time? Do you remember?
It was closed.
Okay. And so at some point, did somebody else come inside the room while Mr. has the gun?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, who was that?
One of the nurses, though, I think she was supposed to come in and check on me or something. She came in and that's when Mr. walked up and went behind her and shot her.
This person that came inside the room, the next shot, was she black, white, or Hispanic? Do you recall?
Oh, she was black.
And so while this is all going on, where's your baby? Is your baby still in the bassinet?
Oh, yes, sir.
And so kind of take us through when Nestor shoots the lady that comes inside the room. Where was he at prior to her coming inside the room?
He was sitting down on the side of my bed, and when she came in, he stood up and just went like around her, and then shot her.
Did he say anything prior to shooting her in the head?
I think he says like he was gonna use the restroom or something like that. I can't.
That's interesting, Taylor. That's interesting. Are you from Texas? Are you from Dallas yourself, Taylor? That's interesting. I've never seen a case like this before, I don't think. But anyway, welcome, Taylor. We've got a few people from Texas here, so it's a fun group.
That he was gonna use the restroom. He got up.
Okay. So he said he's gonna go to use the restroom, and he got up and shot him back in the head.
Yes, sir.
Was the lady who he shot, was she doing anything at that point?
Cowboys country.
She was looking at her clipboard. She was like looking for something in her clipboard.
Was she paying any attention to Nestor?
No.
Did she say anything to him?
No, sir.
Did she make any kind of threats towards him?
Oh, no.
Did
No,
she
sir.
assault him in any way?
No, sir.
How close was the defendant to the social worker when he shot her?
I mean, like right behind her. It's real close.
How many times did he fire?
Once.
What are your thoughts at that point? What's going through your mind?
I'm still in shock. I can't believe it. I'm like, I don't know, I'm scared because now I actually believe him that he's gonna kill me and, him in front of us.
So what does he do after he shoots the social worker?
Jonathan.
He goes like on the side of me and he pulls out the bullets from behind his back pocket or something and reloads. He starts putting more bullets in his gun. And
So you
then,
say he pulls the bullets out of the pocket?
yes, sir.
You know which pocket he pulled it out of?
Oh, no, sir.
And he starts to reload the gun, is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
Is he making any statements at that time?
Yeah. He was just telling me to enjoy the time I had with my son. He was just saying that he told me, he's like, yeah, that we were gonna die.
So you want to die today?
Mhm.
Did he ask you to do anything at that point, either at the point in time you reload the gun or after you reload the gun?
No, sir.
Okay.
Tay. Yeah. But Taylor's not even been here for 2 minutes yet, and you've already like Tay. And we don't know, Jan. We don't know whose baby is crying. We don't know, Jan. I don't think so. I do it. Right on. Tay it is then.
You said earlier that he had asked you to bring somebody else inside the room.
That was before like he had shot anybody. He like I guess they were taking too long. It's like somebody to come in or whatever. He was waiting, and he had told me like to press the call button so somebody could come in.
And so what did you do after you reloaded the gun?
He started walking to the door, and I guess the door was closed and he opened it and went inside. Went outside and was, I guess was gonna, I don't know. But then he got shot, I think, and then he came back inside.
As he reloaded the gun, he said, went to the door, opened the door, and started to walk out. Did he say anything at that point?
No, so I just remember hearing the gun go off again.
Did you see him fire any other shots?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Describe that for us. How many additional shots did you see him fire after he shot the social?
I think it was once more.
And where did he fire towards? Did you see that?
So it was just outside. It was-
Could you see outside the door from where you were?
yeah, yeah, kind of.
Okay. Did you see anybody inside the hallway at that point when he fired?
No, sir. I just seen the back of him.
This is the his ex-girlfriend, the one that had the baby in the hospital that he was there with, Hannah. So you don't miss anything. It's fine.
Like he was kind of covering the door
And so you mentioned that he got shot as well. How did you know that he got shot?
because he came back out and he was like, he was like, I guess he was in pain. He was like, I guess bleeding too.
Prior to getting shot, you said he opened the door and he fired the shot. You remember about how much time between when he opened the door and when he fired?
No, sir. No, I don't.
So he fires outside the door, he gets shot, and he comes back inside the room. What happens after he gets shot and comes back inside the room?
He goes like on the side, like in the corner, and by then I already had my baby in my hands, and he was like trying to take him away, and
Was the baby awake at that point?
no, he was still asleep.
Maybe he was still sleeping.
Mhm.
And you said that he was trying to take the baby away from you. Describe what he was doing.
He was like trying to get him so he could like I guess shoot me.
Did he still have the gun in his hand at that point?
Yes, sir.
And what was he doing with the gun?
He was trying to point it at me.
Did he hit you with it at that point?
No, sir. He had hit me again whenever I didn't press the call button.
Talk about that for us. You said he hit you when you didn't press the call button. Tell us about that.
Yeah, because when they were taking too long, he told me like to press the call button, and I didn't want to, so he's like stood up and he called me a bitch, and he hit me like I think it was like 2 more times.
Why didn't you want to press the call button?
Cause I mean, I just didn't want to. Like, I don't know.
When he asked you to press the call button, did you have the gun in his hand at that point?
Oh yes, sir.
Do you call specifically where you got the in the head with the gun? Selena?
Yeah, I think it was my left. The first time it was my left side, and then I think the second time it was like both sides. I think.
On both sides of your head, the left and the right?
Mhm.
Did you have any, did you feel pain when he hit you with the gun in your head?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And did you have some visible injuries on your head from him striking you with the gun?
I think so. Yeah.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor.
You may.
I'm going to show you the mark that is
Happy days out.
exhibits 3
Welcome, Taylor. I'm from Sweden.
through 11. Can you tell me, are these photographs of how you looked in the hospital that day after this incident?
Oh,
The
Whoa.
state's exhibits 3 through 11 accurately depict how you looked on October 22nd, 2002, and also accurately depict the injuries that you sustained from the assault by Mr. Hernandez.
Yes, sir.
This time, the second offer states 3 through 11.
Okay.
All right, state exhibits 3 through 11 are admitted for all purposes.
Permission to approach the jury, Your Honor.
Yes, you may.
Thank you. So then we're just going to show these photographs of the jury. Is this you in the hospital bed that day?
Yes, sir.
State exhibit 4 for the record, just a closer shot of the framing phrase. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. State exhibit number 5. Can you tell the jury what we're looking at here?
Where he hit me.
Okay. Can you describe in the photograph what we see that the defendant hit you with the gun?
Excuse me.
Yes. Can you describe? We're looking at state exhibit number 5. This shows the left side of your face, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell the jury where the defendant struck you on the left side of your head with the gun?
In the front, like.
She can touch this one.
Here. No,
Can you touch it?
no, no, no.
You have to pull up the
tell you what, to put that finger out, Selena, just if you can shake his hand, Judge. Stand up, Selena.
Mhm.
And then just turn around and show the jury what you struck you in the head. And for the record, we're looking at the left side of the witness's face, right above the eyebrow, right around the hairline. Statement number 6 is just showing where the crime scene technician is putting up a ruler showing the sides of the injury. And we see a little bit of a closer viewpoint of that injury. Is that correct, Selena?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall, were you bleeding at the time? Do you remember?
No, sir. I don't know.
We clearly see a visible injury there, correct?
Yes, sir.
State exhibit number 7, again showing more towards the back of the left side of the witness's face and neck area. State exhibit number 8, just a closer viewpoint of that same area. Can you stand up one more time so they can show on the photograph where you injured?
Yeah, just like over there.
Okay. For the record, just pointing at an area of redness towards the back of the left ear on the lower neck area. State exhibit number 9, again, in the same area, but just showing the ruler measurement there of the injury. Appears to be approximately 3 inches from top to bottom. State exhibit number 10, same area, just showing the measurement towards the bottom of the injury, again, approximately 3 inches. And then state exhibit number 11, we see the right side of your face. Is that correct, Selena?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you just stand one more time, just show us where the defendant struck you on the right side of your. Okay, is it more like behind your hairline or is it more on the skin of your face?
No, it's like behind here.
Where your hair?
Yeah, behind there.
Okay, so Selena, you mentioned that the defendant is shot at that point. You said you picked up your baby, you have a baby in your arms, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you said he's trying to take the baby from you.
Yes, sir.
What happened at that point? Is he able to get the baby from you?
No, sir.
Okay, what happened? Take us from that point forward. What happened next?
I was talking to him, telling him like to pretty much just like to give me the gun to look at our serve and to like just calm down and like I guess like turn himself in.
Okay. And did he make any further statements or did he make any phone calls after that point?
I think his mom had called him, and he was talking to her and told her what had happened, and
Did you call what he was saying just what on the phone?
he just told her that he had shot somebody,
Did you call if he was speaking in English or Spanish?
Spanish.
Okay. So he told his phone was to get shot somebody.
Yes, sir.
Did he say whether or not that person was still alive?
I don't know, sir. I can't recall.
All right. Did you call where was he when he was making this phone call? Was he still up? Was he down on the floor? Where was he at?
He was still on my right side, like in the corner, talking to her.
Okay. So what happens next after you have this conversation with your mother?
She's trying to talk to him, and I'm trying to talk to him.
What do you tell him?
Just to calm down, just to throw the gun outside.
At this point, could you hear anybody else from outside the room speaking or talking?
Oh yes, sir. One of the Methodist police, I guess one of the officers there.
Were they giving any kind of orders or commands to either yourself or to the defendant?
Oh yes, sir. They were telling him like to throw the gun outside too, and to let us out.
Okay. Mr. still has a gun at that point?
Oh yes, sir.
And you still have the baby in your arms, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
At some point, did Mr. lose or did the defendant lose possession of the gun? Did he lose control of the gun at some point?
Oh yes, sir.
Tell us about what happened with the gun.
After I was talking to him, telling he kind of like he was about to throw it outside, and I guess he was walking towards the door, and he fell and threw the gun, and when he threw it, I jumped up and I grabbed it,
You
and
said he threw it, can you describe it for us? Did he purposely throw it? Did he drop it? What happened with the gun?
yeah, he I guess because he was bleeding, he fell over and he dropped the gun. Like So I got up and I went to go get it.
What was the gun? I'm sorry, let's touch on that.
It was like I think on the bassinet or something. I can't remember.
Was it on the floor, the gun, or was it, you say it was by a bassinet?
Yeah,
Was it on the floor?
yes, sir.
And so what did you do?
I jumped up and I went to go grab it and I threw it outside.
What was the defendant doing while you were grabbing the gun?
He was on the floor.
What did you do with the baby?
I still had him in my hand.
You stabbed the baby when you picked up the gun?
Yes, sir.
What did you do with the gun?
I threw it outside.
So what did you do after you took the gun outside? Did you say anything to the officers that were outside?
Yeah, I told him to for him to come.
But we'll figure it out.
To get my baby. But I was telling him like, cause I was scared they were gonna shoot in the room, so I was thinking not to shoot him. So I didn't want him to die either.
Why did you feel like that? Why did you feel like you didn't want the defendant to die?
I mean, that was just too much. I had already seen, you know. Just that was my baby dad. That's, you know, I still had my son and I just didn't. I didn't want them to kill him either.
You said you'd already seen too much. What do you mean?
I mean, him killed that lady in front of me. Like, I mean, the nurse in front of me. Like, it was too much blood. It was already a lot going on, you know.
So wow, let's kind of back up a little bit. When he shot the nurse in the back of the head inside the room, was she still there inside the room the whole time?
Yes, sir. She was on the floor.
And going back prior to when he was shot by the police officer, when he opens the door, where is the body of the social worker?
She was kind of like I guess she was like by the door and he couldn't open it, so he forcefully, you know, opened the door with her, like to move her on the side, like on the side and stuff.
Okay, so when he was trying to open the door, he couldn't open the door because the body was there, so he had to move the body to the door.
Yes, sir.
Did you realize that when he shot outside of the door, after he shot the social worker the first time, he went back to the door, he shot outside the door? Did you realize that he had shot somebody else at that point, or did you not know that at that point?
No, sir, I didn't know.
And so you took the gun outside the door, and you tell the officers, hey, the gun's no longer in here. You tell them not to shoot him. What happens at that point?
They come in and I gave him my baby. I told him like to help me because I still couldn't get out the room because I was like, I guess, like plugged in and stuff. I couldn't leave, so I gave one of the officers my son and they grabbed Nestor
Where was Nestor at when the officers entered the room?
in front of the bed, like on the floor in front by the bed.
Okay. Was he upright or was he laying down?
He was laying down.
Okay. You recall Nestor making any statements at that point? Has he said anything when the officers made entry into the room?
No, sir, I really wasn't worried about him at the time. I was worried about myself.
Okay. You still hold your son at that time?
I had gave him to two officers.
When the officers came in, you still hold the baby, correct?
Oh, yes, sir.
How was your baby? Was your baby injured at all?
Yes, sir.
So the officers took the defendant outside the room. Did you see the defendant at any point after that?
No, sir.
Did you have to have any kind of treatment for your injuries?
No, sir.
So at some point, you all went through a process with the baby and you got some paternity test results. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What were the results of the paternity test?
That he's a father.
This time you're on pursuant to a stipulation with the defense and state that officer number 12, which is a DNA test report, and DNA diagnostic center.
Commissioner,
All right, state exhibit number 12 is admitted for all purposes.
Permission to ask the jury.
You may.
Thank you. Permission to summarize for the jury, Your Honor.
You may.
State exhibit number 12 is again a DNA test report from DNA diagnostic center showing that the defendant Hernandez 99.99997% attorney for the child J Sanchez. Let me ask you this, Selena. Just in full transparency, you have been convicted of a couple of felonies, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You have been convicted of burglary of habitation back in 2015, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were sentenced to 3 years in prison, is that right?
I think 2015. I think that's the aggravated robbery.
Okay, looks like you were sentenced to 3 years in prison for regular habitation in September 2015. You were also, as you mentioned, convicted of aggravated robbery here in Dallas in 2015 as well. You were sentenced to 5 years in prison, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, given that, have you told the truth to the jury today?
Yes, sir.
Does any of your criminal history have any bearing on what the defendant did that day?
No, sir.
Have you been totally honest and transparent with the jury about the actions that the defendant took place?
Yes.
In Memphis Hospital on October 22nd, 2022.
Yes, sir.
Answer the shot.
Ms. Miller, I have a few questions for you, if I might. In regards to the relationship that you and Nestor had about going up to the period right before this incident at the hospital, there was a lot of issues between you and him in regards to whether or not this baby was actually his. Is that not correct?
No, not really.
You don't recall him telling you that he wasn't sure that this baby was his?
In the beginning, but he knew. He knew.
Well, I mean, but that's what was leading up to the point in time when you ended up going to the hospital with Nestor, correct?
What do you mean?
I mean, there had been some discussions about that prior to the time that he took you to the hospital for you to give birth.
No.
Okay. Now, in regard to this gun, you said that you weren't aware that he had a gun when he came to the hospital that day. Is that right?
Yeah, I didn't know he had it on him.
Okay. You'd seen the gun before, had you not?
Yes, sir.
And in fact, you'd seen it the day before when y'all were on the way to the
Yeah, sorry, P was snoring. Oh, it's me. Drop it off. I've got a cold. I'll be back now. Oh, hey, Kim. We're in another one now, Kim. We're in another one now. I'm just going to see you now. She's going crazy outside. I'll be back now. 2 secs.
hospital, didn't you?
Oh, yes, sir.
Did you have a discussion with Nestor the day that you were going to the hospital regarding whether or not you were going to give the baby his last name?
Yes, sir.
And did you tell Nestor that if he would get rid of that gun, that you would take that, you would give the baby his last name?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so at that point in time, did Nestor not put the gun in your bag so that he would
No.
not have it?
No.
He didn't put the gun in your bag so that because you promised him that if he would give it up, that you would give the baby his last name.
No, he put it on the side of inside his car, the truck he was driving.
Okay. So your testimony is you didn't know that you didn't see that gun at all in the hospital before. You're saying he just pulled it out of his pocket.
Yeah, he left it in the truck. When we went in, he had put it like on the side of the door. I can't remember where. But he didn't give me nothing. Like he knew I'm having my son. I don't play with like none of that. That's why I didn't want him to have the gun.
Well, think about it just for a minute. You said two different things. You said one, he put it in the side of the car, then you said he put it in the door of the car.
Yeah, inside like the door. Like he had like a little thing that he would put it inside. I don't know, like a little hiding spot, I guess.
So he didn't put it in the trunk of the car?
No.
Do you recall having a conversation being interviewed by these two folks right here on September the 25th of this year?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember telling those two folks when they interviewed you? You saw they were taking notes when they were talking to you, correct?
Yes, sir.
You don't recall telling them that you thought he put it in the trunk of the car?
Not in the trunk.
So now, the day before this all occurred, you and him he had taken you to the hospital, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you didn't want him to take you to the hospital, did you?
No.
Well, he was the father of your baby.
Yes, sir.
You're telling this jury that you guys weren't arguing, but you didn't want the father of your baby to take you to the hospital?
Yeah, because that day we were just.
And you said the day that he took you to the hospital the day before the baby was born, correct?
Oh, yes, sir.
And you said that he was happy and excited at that point.
Oh, yes, sir.
And you gave him an ultimatum about this gun that he had, and told him that unless he gave up the gun, you weren't going to give the baby his last name.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the day that all this started on the 22nd, when he came back to the hospital that day, you said that when he came into the room, you said he was carrying a beer, and then you got mad at him, and you immediately pulled the blanket up over your head.
Oh, yes, sir.
You wouldn't even talk to him, would you?
No, sir.
Okay. Was there some discussion at that time regarding whether or not you had possibly or potentially given him a venereal disease? Was there in fact an argument at that time leading up to this about two things? You're cheating on him and you're giving him potentially a venereal disease.
No, sir. We didn't even talk at all.
Well, but so your testimony is that he just came in there and he's just uncontrollably out of his mind for no reason when he had been happy and excited about the birth of his baby the day before.
And that morning.
Yeah, and so that morning he calls you and says, hey, I'm thinking about getting a haircut before I come so we can have some family pictures made.
Yes, sir.
But then he shows up at the room, and when he walks in the room, you immediately pull the blanket over your head and you refuse to talk to him, don't you?
Yes, sir. Because he brought a beer inside when we just had our son. Like, who would do that?
Well, okay, but it's just, I mean, it's a beer in a hospital room. It's not the end of the world. And
Yes, sir.
I mean, I'm just trying to find out that you're saying that all of a sudden he came in and he's mad for no reason whatsoever.
That's him.
Now, when this was taking place, how long were you laying in the bed?
Like, what do you mean?
In the hospital bed? At what point did you get up out of the hospital bed?
I didn't get up till after all that happened.
Did you not get up and when he started to look around and look into the bathroom prior to the nurse coming into the room?
No.
You never stood up?
No, I couldn't even, if I had to stand up, I had to have a nurse with me because I was plugged in like to this one thing. Like I couldn't get up.
Okay. And did you have the baby in your arms at this time or was the baby in the bassinet?
The whole time before that happened, he was on the bassinet.
Okay. When did you get the baby out and have the baby in your arms?
When he was walking like towards my son and I didn't want him to get him.
And when was that in this whole scenario that you described? Was it prior to there had
Before he shot the
been, okay,
nurse.
let me back up just a moment. There had been another nurse came into the room while you and Nestor were there, while you had the blanket pulled up over you, and she came in and gave you some medication, did she not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How soon was that before this argument escalated?
I mean, because he right after she left, I think he had got on the phone. That's when he got on the phone with his family. He was on the phone for a little bit, so.
Okay. Now, so at this point in time, you're saying you got the blanket pulled over your head. He's trying to talk to you. You refuse to talk to him.
He wasn't trying to talk to me. Since he walked in, the only thing he said as soon as he walked in, he was like, "Oh, he's asleep," talking about our son. And then he just went and sat down on the side by the bed.
He went and sat down on the side by the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Did he try to pick up the baby?
No, he was asleep. He didn't try.
I'm trying to figure out, Ms. Villagore, if you can explain to this jury what was that triggered this whole situation to escalate. If you know.
That's what I'm trying to figure the same thing. Why he do that? Because
So
we were good in the morning. We were good. Like he was happy. I was texting him the whole time, telling him that the lady from that morning, the lady for the social security thing, had came in. It was like she was also asking me like for his last name, and I didn't know. And I was texting him, telling him that we needed his ID and stuff. Like we were good. Well, I don't know why he did this. Like for no reason.
So you don't recall that there was any conversation that actually started this whole situation that got you mad and him mad?
Yeah, he came. I don't know why. How was he? If he was even mad, I just remember seeing the beer and I thought already like he was drunk. Like that's the only thing that was.
Why would you immediately come to that assumption? I mean, just
because he drinks a lot. Like when he drinks, he doesn't just like sip. He chugs like he be drinking.
But you said that you immediately came to that assumption before you really even took time to speak with him or talk to him, did you?
I mean, I kind of knew like when I seen the beer because he had took long to like come to the hospital. When I seen the beer, I already knew he had been drinking.
Now, Ms. Thor, at the time that your testimony that the nurse came in, were you in fact not laying there with the blanket over your head at that time?
One nurse.
When the nurse came in, the second nurse came in that morning.
The one that he shot?
The one that was shot, yes, ma'am.
No, sir.
You didn't have a blanket over your head at that time?
No, sir.
What were you doing as far as trying to, now you told the jury at this point in time, you're concerned that he might do something to somebody, is that right?
Well, yeah. I kind of like, I don't know. I didn't think he would do anything that dumb. Like.
So what, and so your testimony to the jury was that he just walked up behind her, is that correct?
Oh, yes, sir.
Did he not in fact strike you and hit you while this nurse was in the room?
No, sir.
He didn't hit you with that gun while the nurse was in the room?
No, sir.
So it's your testimony that he just shoots her for no reason, and then he comes back, and when in this situation did you say that he reloaded that weapon?
As soon as he shot her?
So he shot her and then reloaded the weapon?
Yes, sir.
So one bullet was shot, and then you say he took the time to reload his gun at that point?
I don't know if he was like reloaded, but I just remember him, like, I don't know how many bullets he had in his thing or whatever, but I just remember him pulling out his bullets from behind and just putting some more bullets in his gun.
All right. Now, you're telling the jury you were still laying in the bed at this point in time?
I was still in. I couldn't get off the bed. Like,
Well, you couldn't get off the bed because I believe we're gonna see some videos in a few moments where you were up standing outside the bed yelling and screaming. Is that not correct?
after he dropped the gun and I jumped up.
Okay, well, that's what I want to ask you then. How was it that you were able to jump up at that point in time while you were still hooked up?
I was hooked up, but I jumped up and I grabbed the gun and
What did you do when you grabbed the gun?
I threw it like I had to, cause there was like a needle, I guess, something in my arm, so I had to like slide the gun outside. Like,
Okay, how'd you slide the gun outside?
I just put it on the floor and I slid it. Like,
Okay. Now, and did it slide out from underneath the door?
the door was open.
So your testimony is that the door was open at this point in time.
Yeah, after he shot.
Okay, now, so are you sure that did you not have to open that door, pull it open to throw the gun out?
No, the door was closed. I mean, the door was open.
So when you said that Nestor went over and opened the door, you heard a gunshot, is that right?
Mhm.
Could you see anything outside of that door?
I had seen him.
Do you have any idea what Nestor saw when he opened the door?
No.
All you did is you heard a gunshot, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you testified a little bit earlier, you told the jury that at the time that you grabbed the gun and threw it out of the door, that you had the baby in your arms. You recall testifying to that earlier?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm still trying to figure out at what point in time did you pick up the baby? You haven't described ever picking up the baby since I've spoken to you. You told me he was in the bassinet.
Yeah, he was in the bassinet, but after he hit me, he, like, the first time he walked
Josie.
down, it was walking towards the bassinet, and that's when I picked him up.
Okay. And this was before anything happened else out there in that room.
Yes, sir.
So when you got out and you took the gun, you said you picked up the gun by the bassinet and you threw it out the door of the room.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And and then at that point in time, you said that Nestor left the room one more time, and when he came back in, he'd been shot.
Yes, sir.
Did you know what had happened outside that room, or was there any way for you to have possibly done it?
I just heard the gun. I didn't know he had shot somebody else. I just remember, like, he came in and I seen the blood, and I kind of figured it was him who had got shot, but I didn't know somebody else had got shot.
And did Nestor tell you he had shot him? Did Nestor even know someone else had been shot?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna object to speculation. He has no idea what was in the mind of the defendant.
I'll rephrase. Did Nestor make any statements to you that he had opened that door and shot somebody else?
No, sir.
When he talked to his mother, and you were listening to that phone conversation, correct? That
Yes,
phone
sir.
conversation was taking place in Spanish,
Yes, sir.
and you speak Spanish,
Yes, sir.
and you were able to understand the words that were being spoken between the defendant and his mother, correct?
Yes, sir.
And at that point in time, he told him he shot one person, didn't
Yes, sir.
he? He wasn't even aware from the conversation that you overheard that there had been two people shot, was it?
Object speculation again.
If so.
Sustained.
Was there anything about that conversation, ma'am, that would have led you to believe that Nestor had knowledge that he had in fact shot two people?
No, sir.
And from your vantage point, you have no idea what Nestor was able to see or observe when he still opened the door that second time.
No, sir.
Each time you talked about Nestor going to the door, you said Nestor opened the door. Is that right?
Mhm. Yes,
What
sir.
was it that caused that door to remain open after the Nestor went out the second time and was shot? You said he went over and opened the door and walked out and came back in and he was shot.
I think it was like the way the nurse was at, like the way she was on the floor. I just remember it being open. I didn't really pay. I don't know why.
Well, in fact, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, man. In fact, you told this jury earlier that Nestor had moved the body of the nurse so that he could open the door again. You don't recall testifying to that?
Whenever he tried to open the door, she was on the way. So he, like, with the door, he slid her, like, like on the side. He didn't move her nowhere. So she was still like right behind the door, like.
Well, then how was it you were able to throw the handgun out the door if the nurse was in the way?
Because I reached like all the way as much as I could, and I just threw it. I just slid in. Like,
And it's your testimony that at that point, Nestor's laying on the ground, he's bleeding, and you're hollering to the police, and the police come in and secure the scene. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And there's no question that when you heard Nestor Hernandez speaking to his mother on the phone, from that conversation, he had only indicated that he knew he had shot one person. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That's all I had, bro. For this time.
All right, state.
Just briefly, Your Honor. So man, you indicated that, so the defense attorney asked you about your interview with us prior to trial. He talks about the gun inside the truck. And he says that you said something about putting the gun in the trunk, but isn't it true that you told us that the gun was inside the truck at that time?
Yeah, it was inside. Yeah.
Okay, you also testified on cross with the defense attorney that you were not able to get off the bed. You're describing all this hectic activity that's taking place inside the room with the defendant, but you're not able to get up off the bed. Why is that?
I mean, like, why couldn't I get off the bed?
Why couldn't you get off the bed?
I mean, I just couldn't. I just couldn't. I was stuck to like this one, like with a syringe or something. I just had it. I couldn't. I don't know. And then I had a C-section, so it was just. They were barely showing me how to like move around and stuff. So I really didn't even know how to like. I just couldn't.
Okay, so you say you had a C-section, right?
Mhm.
Were you in any pain on that day from having a C-section the day before?
No, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you were in pain during this whole ordeal.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You had also indicated that you were attached to some machinery, some hospital machines.
Oh, yes, sir.
You said a syringe, but is it more like an IV?
Yeah,
line
like
for-
IV. Yeah, 9.
For medication, things of that sort?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and going back to our interview prior to trial, you testified that you weren't quite sure how much time took place between when the defendant went back to the door to shoot after he shot the social worker. He went to the door, opened the door, and fired again. You recall telling us that as soon as he opened the door, he pretty much fired immediately after opening the door?
Yes, sir.
Were you afraid that the defendant was going to kill you that day?
Oh, yeah,
Were
yeah.
you afraid that he was going to kill or harm your baby?
I didn't think he was gonna harm him, but mostly me. Like, I don't think his intentions was to kill our son, but just me and him.
Is that why he was trying to get the baby from you? Do you think because he was trying to kill you?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Were you afraid that he may try to kill somebody else that was not inside the room?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Or did you have that impression that he may want to hurt somebody else?
I mean,
Kill
just
somebody else?
because he reloaded, he was trying to go back outside too.
That's all right, Judge. Thank you. That's it.
I have no further questions this time, Your Honor.
All right, this one has been released.
What's that, Trustee?
Such free law.
All right, thank you, Ms. Leotor. You are free to step down at this point, but please remain within earshot in case either party wants to recall you, okay? All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, would y'all like a short break at this time, 15-minute break? Okay. All right. let's
Okay.
go at-
Doing good.
Yeah, thank you for coming in today. If you could please introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and then spelling it for the court reporter.
Leonardo Lopez, Leonardo.
Just say your last name, please.
Lopez.
Okay, Leonardo, you work for a living?
Yes.
Okay, what do you do for a living?
I'm a tow truck driver.
Tow truck driver? Okay, how long have you been doing that?
About a year.
And so, you didn't necessarily want to be in court today, did you?
No.
Let's be honest, you don't want to be there, right?
No.
Okay, so we asked you to be here and you're gonna tell the truth to the jury, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you married, Leonardo?
No.
Okay, do you have a significant other?
Yes.
Okay, what's her name?
Noemi.
What's her last name?
Davila.
Can you spell that for the court reporter?
Davila.
Okay. So basically, we've only just started it, Josie. It's just started. You've only missed openings and a couple of witnesses. So the guy, Nestor Oswaldo Hernandez, he came into the hospital one day. His ex-girlfriend, who was just on the stand, was giving birth to their son or daughter. I'm not sure. They've got 2 children. And essentially, he came in with a beer in his hand, spilling beer. He thought that the girl on the stand, his ex-girlfriend, was cheating on him. He was rummaging through the cupboards and threatening to kill her and the baby and stuff like that. But he ended up assaulting her, obviously, assaulting several people, and he, in the end, well, allegedly, well, I think is pretty certain, killed like a nurse and a social worker. So he killed 2 people in the hospital, and this is a capital murder trial, which he's pled not guilty to. But in the opening, his lawyer did say that um, he will plead guilty to a lesser charge, and essentially that's where we're at. All we know is killed 2 people, assaulted people, and heard her testimony there. And yeah, that's all I know. So hopefully that's a bit of a recap for you, Josie and Emma and everybody else. I'm sure others can maybe fill in a little bit more, but I was sleeping through half of it as well, snoring. So yeah, that's the gist of it, the trial. So it's a capital murder trial which she is pleaded not guilty for. I think he would plead guilty for a lesser charge.
So the first name, please.
Noemy.
Is she in court today with you for sport?
No,
Yes.
Okay.
you don't miss much at all.
Yes.
How many children do you got?
One.
And how old is your child?
She just turned 1.
What's her name?
Elsie.
You've missed
How'd you know?
less than 2 hours,
Okay. Let me take you back to the day.
but not much.
22nd, 2022. Were you at Methodist Hospital that day? Because Naomi had just given birth to your child?
Yes.
And on that particular day, did you happen to come into contact with this defendant, Nestor Hernandez?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that contact? How did you first come into contact with the defendant?
I was right there in the room. He walks in and he realized it was the wrong room. It was quick, in and out. He just walked away.
Did he have anything either in his hands or with him when he came into your room?
I think he had a beverage.
Okay, you recall what kind of beverage it was? Can you tell what it was?
I don't.
What did it look like?
Like a can.
You can remember what color it was or anything like that?
Maybe black.
And the person that came into your room, did you see him in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Okay. If I'm seated in seat number 1, my co-counsel in seat number 2, and on down the line, what seat number would you be in?
Number 5.
May the record reflect this witness as identified in the defendant on the court.
The record was so reflective.
Thank you. And so you said he came into the room, and it's pretty quick, but just kind of describe what happened when he came into the room. You said that he mistook that for his room, is that correct?
The what?
You said that he was mistaken about that being his room?
Yeah, well, I guess he said he came to see her and he realized that it wasn't her. He walked out.
Okay, you saying he came to see her, who was he referring to?
My Noemi.
So, if I understand you correctly,
You literally have not missed anything. I would probably watch what his ex-girlfriend said, but everything else has just been nothing. Even this is nothing. The opening was like 10 minutes max. So you're all good. You're all good.
so he believes that Noemi, the mother of your child.
Oh, welcome back.
is your-
Yes.
Did he appear, how was his demeanor to you? Did he seem normal?
Obviously, me, yeah, I got you.
So it was pretty quick. He just walked in, walked right back out.
Okay. Did he tell you, did you ask him any questions?
Yeah, I said, "Who are you?"
And what did he say?
He said his name,
What did he say his name was?
Nestor.
And again, I know it was quick, but did you recall anything specifically about the way he was acting? Did he appear strange to you?
Not really. It was just quick.
Okay, do you recall having an interview with the Dallas Police Department detective at the hospital that day?
Yes.
Do you recall telling him that he was referring to the defendant really hyped up? Remember that?
Yes.
Do you remember listening to that audio when you spoke with myself and my co-counsel?
Yes.
at the trial? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so after, you also recall telling the detective that it seemed like the
There's no
defendant,
objective meeting.
are you saying that you didn't make these statements, Leonardo?
First statements.
The statements with regard to the defendant's demeanor,
I don't know what that means.
about how he was acting that day?
If I'm saying what?
Judge, if I may, if I could play the
No.
this audio for him outside the presence of the jury to request his recollection. As to what he was said about the defendant's demeanor. That day. If you're saying he doesn't recall.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, how long is this going to take?
The audio is only about 6 minutes, but it's probably a 1 minute clip. Okay.
I'm going to give you another. A 5-minute break.
All rise.
I can just about hear him. I can hear the witnesses perfectly. It's just the attorneys are difficult. But in fairness, the subtitles do catch it. Subtitles are quite good, actually. No worries, Katie. Catch you later. See you later, Katie. KK. See you, KK. All right, what are we doing? Why are they outside the door for?
Let the record reflect that the defendant is present with his attorney, the state is present, the jurors are present, and it's seated. The state ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor. Just for the record, Leonardo, you're the same Leonardo Lopez that was testifying before we took this pre-break, correct?
Yes.
And over the course of that break, you had the opportunity to listen to a portion of the audio interview that you gave with the Child Police Department on October 22nd, 2022 at Methodist Hospital, correct?
Yes.
After listening to that audio, did that refresh your recollection as to how you described that the defendant was acting that day?
Yes.
Can you tell us how he was acting?
He looked really confident, really like confident.
Okay. And anything else that you heard in that audio as pertaining specifically to the way he was acting?
Just confident, really.
Or in drugs or alcohol?
Well, he looked a little abnormal, I guess you could say.
Okay. Did you say that it seemed like he was high?
That's what I said. Yeah.
I'll pass it with you.
No questions? Thanks, sir.
All right, Davis, witness be released.
Okay, come take your.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lopez, you're free to leave.
What a waste of time. What a waste of time.
State call you next witness.
State calls Stacy Smith.
I think the subtitles are good, Sherry. But I must admit, I could hear everybody, so maybe that helps me as well. Everybody, yeah, rock your body, yeah, everybody, rock your body right. Mhm. All right.
Smith, did you raise your hand? Yes. Do you swear that the testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Thank you.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
You can leave the mic back a little bit. State name procedure.
What's your name?
How are you?
I'm good.
Good, thank you for being here this morning. Please introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling it for the court order.
Stacy Smith, Stacey, Smith, Smith.
Right, Stacy. Stacy's mom.
How?
Stacy's mom. She's got it going on. Dee 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 dee. How long? Da 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 da. Johnny. John Boy. John Boy. John or John Boy. John Boy, innit? I heard nothing that I heard it all. He just didn't want to be there.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Where did you work?
I was with Methodist Medical Center.
Okay, what did you do now?
I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner.
And how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that for about 3 years. Before that, I was a registered nurse with Methodist for almost 21 years.
And so you said that you were a registered nurse with Methodist for 21 years.
Almost 21.
Okay, almost 21 years. Were you working there in that capacity on October the 22nd, 2022?
Yes.
So let me take you back to that date, October 22nd of 2022. What was your role with Methodist at that time?
I was
Oh,
a staff
sorry.
nurse. That on that day, I was serving as a charge nurse.
Okay, and what is the duties of a charge nurse? What does that mean for the jury?
You just kind of oversee the unit. If anyone needs assistance with patients or anything, they'll come in. You're a resource for like anyone to help with the patients. You do staffing. You make assignments for new patients coming to the unit and just like make sure things are running smoothly.
So would you consider that to be sort of like a supervisory role for the other nurses?
For that day, yes, you are the supervisor.
And on that particular day, do you recall how many patients were in the unit at that time? And let me just clarify.
Pull my
what
volume
unit
down again.
were you working in that day?
I was on the mother baby unit and it was 4 Shingle Tower
And when you say four, is that referring to the
to the
floor?
fourth floor.
And for the record, can you spell Schenkel? For the floor?
SCHEINKEL, something like that.
Do you
Remember
recall,
the
how many
Waltons?
patients were on
Waltons.
the unit at that time?
John Boy.
Yes, there were about 23 or 24 patients that day.
And how many of those, does that include mothers and babies?
That's including mothers and babies.
Does that take into account other visitors that may have been there, like
No.
fathers or friends?
No, that's only the patients.
Okay, so there could have been additional folks.
Oh, there were additional people.
Okay, do you remember, I know not an exact number, but do you recall how many people were in, what it seemed like to be full at that time?
We were probably about 4 rooms short of being full.
Do you know what the capacity is as far as how many people?
We
how many
have-
patients?
We have 26, I believe we could hold 26 patients room as far as mothers, but babies, we could just keep going until.
Okay, so the max was 26, and you said on this particular day, it was 23 to 24 patients. So-
Well, actually, there's 26 rooms, but moms are counted separately from babies. So there's 26 plus 26, so it'll be like 52.
Okay, and do you know either of the victims in this case, Katie Flowers or Jacqueline Poole?
I do,
Okay, you know both, or
yes.
how long have you known Katie?
I knew her for, I think she had been there 12 years. I knew her all 12 years.
How would you describe your relationship with her?
We were friends, like we were coworkers and we were also friends. Like we shared things about, our families, our friends, our loved ones. We shared events of our lives and things.
Okay, how about Jacqueline? How long have you known her?
I knew Jacqueline probably, that happened in October. So probably for the last like 4 months for sure, I knew her.
So on that particular day at approximately 11 a.m., do you recall something unusual happening in the unit that day?
Yes.
Tell us what happened.
I went to a patient that was being discharged. I went to make charge nurse rounds before they were discharged, so I can come back and put their comments in the computer, because once they're discharged, you can't do it. But I left my cell phone and the charge nurse phone on the desk. And when I got into the patient's room, I was walking by and I saw the officer standing outside of room 3. And I just asked him, "Hey, is everything okay?" He said, "Yes, it was fine." So I kept going.
I'm gonna cut you off, and I'm sorry you got this, but you referred to the officer that you saw outside of room 3.
Yes,
Do you recall what agency that officer was with?
he was with Methodist.
Okay, do you know that officer's name?
I know it now, Officer Rangel.
And so was that unusual?
It was unusual because we don't usually have officers. Like they'll make rounds, like just walk through, but he was standing outside of room 3.
Okay. And so you asked him, is everything okay? And his response was what?
Yeah, everything is fine. And he was like looking through like a little notebook.
Okay. And so what did you do from there?
I kept going to the room I was going to make the discharge round on. And when I got into the room, I was closing the door and I heard a pop. And I told the patient who I was rounding, I said, "Oh, I think that's one of the caution wet floor signs. It sounds like it may have fallen over." And as I'm closing the door, I start hearing like screams. So then,
Okay, hold on 1 second. So going back to the patient room that you were in at the time, how many people were in that room?
well, at the time when I walked in, I thought it was just her, but the father of her baby was also was in the bathroom. I didn't know that then.
Was the baby inside the room at the time?
No, the baby was in NICU.
And so you had testified that when you were closing the door, you heard a popping sound?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point in time, you did not realize that this was a gunshot?
No.
You thought that it was, you said,
I thought it was like the caution wet floor when it falls over, it makes a pop. I thought that that fell over.
and so immediately after that, you said that you heard screaming, is that correct?
I started to hear scream.
And you described for the jury what you heard?
I just heard like someone screaming, stop it, or something to that effect. And then that's when I walked out of the room trying to see what was going on, because when I heard the scream, I didn't know why this person was screaming, but I could hear like in the direction of where the scream was coming from.
The voice that you heard, did it sound like a female voice or a male voice?
It sounded like a female.
Okay, so you testified just now that it was something along the lines of stop it or something like that?
Yeah.
And so you come out into the hallway and what do you see?
When I come out of the hallway, I see the I see him standing in the doorway, like the door to room 6 is closed, like just about closed, only about that much open. He's standing in the doorway and he's standing out there and he's pointing a gun out like this and he's just like looking and just shooting.
Okay, so you're referring to room number 6. Is that where the individual that you saw shooting was located?
That's where I saw him at.
Okay, and you were in room what at that time?
I was in room 11, so 9 and 11 are here. No, I'm coming out of room 11, but 9 and 11 are here. 5 and 7 are here, and he's shooting out between like 5 and 7.
And so the individual that you saw that was shooting, did you get a good look enough, good enough look at that person to identify that person?
Yes,
Did you see that person in court today?
yes,
If I'm seated in seat number 1, my co-counsel in seat number 2, all the way down the line, what seat would he be?
5.
Okay. May the record reflect this witness has identified this being court.
The record will still reflect.
And so you indicated that you saw the individual with the gun pointed out and firing, is that correct?
yes,
How many times, if you recall, did you see him fire?
twice.
Did you see anybody else in the hallway at that time?
Annette.
Where was she in relation to where the shooter was located?
Annette was like in the hallway by like room 5 and 7, but standing on that side of the hallway, and he was over like right, like as if he's coming out of room 6. He was over on the even side of the hallway, and she was a little bit over.
And so with respect to the direction in which he was firing, how was that in relation to where Annette was standing?
It looked like he was firing at her, but I didn't know if somebody came out of room 5 or 7. I didn't know.
Did you see anybody else in the hallway at that time besides Annette?
No,
Okay. Do you know what the officer was at that time?
I don't.
So you see him firing towards Annette. Did you see if he had struck her at that point, or
No.
did you see it at that point?
No, I took off running back into room 11, and I knew that he saw me, so I wasn't for sure if he was going to be trying to come after. So I was telling room 11 to get in the bathroom, and as I was closing the door, I was trying to look and see if he was coming my way, but he was still standing there shooting.
So you said that you knew that he saw him. How did you know that?
Because he looked at me,
How would you describe the way that he looked at you?
just with a smirk on his face.
And so were you afraid that you may be harmed by him at that time?
Absolutely.
What were the thoughts in your head at that point?
I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out what happened. What did we do? Like, did he shoot? Like, was it some confrontation with him and the officer? Because remember, I only saw the officer standing outside of room 3. I don't know what happened.
Okay, so you go back into the room and shut the door, and what did you do at that point?
When I shut the door, I asked the patient in room 11 to get to the bathroom, because those are the only doors that's locked and that can lock. And I'm telling them like, he has a gun, get in the bathroom, get in the bathroom. So I try to like pick up and call Methodist police from the room phone, but it goes to like an operator. So I run in the bathroom too, because I don't know if he's coming down the hallway or not. And then when I get in the bathroom, I see that the patient, the father of the baby, he is in the bathroom. The patient's boyfriend is in the bathroom, and I'm asking them if anyone has a phone I can use. And so they let me use the phone, and I try to call Methodist police, but I'm not getting anything. So then I call 911.
And so going back to the point in time either before or during the shooting, did you hear this individual defendant say anything?
Yes.
What did he say?
I was hearing him say, put him down, or give him, he said, put him down, give him to me. And like he was just saying, I mean, it was so much yelling in between all of that. Like I heard her, like a female screaming. And then I heard him saying, give him to me, give him to me. And I heard her say, no, I'm not giving him to you.
So when he said give it to me, do you know that what he was referring to?
I thought he was referring to the baby.
Could you see any of what was going on?
I could only hear everything.
At what point were you able to actually come out of the room after that?
I came out of the bathroom once, like when I didn't hear like any more shots, because I'm trying to peep out the door to see, okay, did we get any help up here? And I peep out the door and I see there are officers there. So then I go back in the bathroom and lock the door. And then once like I don't hear any more like screaming or anything, I go back out and I peep and there's an officer there, and I was showing him my work badge and just asked him if I can come out. I was the charge nurse for the unit, so he told me to come out, and we needed to go check on like patients.
Do you recall what agency that officer was with when you came out?
He was with Dallas. He wasn't with Methodist.
Okay, that was you.
Mhm.
Okay. And when you were able to actually come outside of the room, what was the scene like? Did it seem like it was calm? How would you describe the scene at this point?
You know, there was no more yelling or anything like that. We just went from room to room trying to get patients, like make sure they were okay, checking on patients. An officer went with me and another nurse to different rooms.
Did you see anybody injured at that point in time?
No. I never saw anyone injured.
So you keep referring to the female voice that you heard. Do you recall any other specific statements that she made?
Yes, I heard her when I was in the bathroom. I heard her saying, don't hurt him, don't hurt him. He's already hurt. He's already down. He's giving up the gun. And she was screaming and just saying, don't hurt him.
And Ms. Smith, I know that your tone is kind of low. If you wouldn't mind just speaking directly into the microphone so that you can hear, because the court will also have to take it down. So
Okay.
if you can just repeat what you heard the female voice saying.
She was saying, don't hurt him, don't hurt him. He's already down. He's already hurt. He's giving up the gun. Don't hurt him.
Okay. And do you know who the female voice was referring to?
I assumed it was referring to him.
To the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. And when you saw this individual shooting, were you able to see the gun that he was firing with?
I just saw it was a black gun.
Okay. And with a small gun?
It looked like a small gun.
Gun that you were holding in your hand like a handgun?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. I'll pass it to Sean.
I just have a couple of questions for you. You said earlier in your testimony here today that when you saw the defendant shooting, that he was shooting towards Annette. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you recall being interviewed by these two prosecutors as well as Investigator Swain from the District Attorney's Office back on September the 18th?
I do. Yes.
You recall at that time that you told them that you saw the defendant shooting a gun out towards a couple of rooms, but you couldn't tell what he was shooting at.
He was shooting between room 5 and 7, and that's where Annette was standing, and he was aiming up high.
Okay, but you told when you were interviewed, you know that they were taking notes when they interviewed you. You saw them taking notes, correct?
Yes, I did.
And if you said that you didn't know what he was shooting at, and you never saw that get hit, did you?
I never did.
And you said that at the time that you saw the defendant shooting a gun, that the door was virtually closed behind you. Is that right?
Yes, it
What
was.
was keeping that door propped open at that time?
I don't know.
But you said how much of the door was open?
It was probably about like this much
Okay, and
space.
would I be accurate in, for the record to say you're gesturing with your hands about 6 inches apart?
Yeah.
I believe that's all I have for you. Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else? Question?
Just briefly. Ms. Smith, as pertains specifically with regard to you seeing the defendant firing the gun. You saw him firing the gun outside of the room, correct?
Yes,
Did you see Annette in the hallway?
I did.
And again, specifically as it relates to where he was aiming, was it at and in the direction of Annette?
Yes, it was.
But you did not see her get hit? Is that
I
correct?
didn't see her get hit.
Okay. Did you see her fall or anything like
No.
that, walk away?
No.
Okay, but he was specifically firing towards,
Annette, yes.
not further.
Anything else?
That's further.
Ladies, witness be released.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Well, we have a few more minutes till noon. I'd like to give the jurors a head start in the cafeteria. So let's take a lunch break and be back at 12:47. All rise.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Good afternoon.
You've been here all day, so I appreciate your patience, okay?
Yes, sir.
If you could please introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling it for the court reporter.
My name is Robert Rangel, Robert. Last name is Rangel.
And Sergeant Rangel, how are you currently employed, sir?
I work with the Methodist Health System, with the Methodist Police Department.
Okay, how long have you been in Memphis PD?
3 years and maybe 4 months.
And what are your current duties with the department?
Basically, as far as supervisor, I approve reports, work on schedules for the Dallas campus. I in charge of the units, the maintenance, making sure that they're equipped and running operationally. Answering calls for service within the hospital, outside in the parking lots. Examples are dealing with patients who are altered, angered, emotionally disturbed, giving general directions within the hospital. Outside in the parking lots, we try to deter the property crimes for burglaries or stolen vehicles, things of that nature.
And do you know how many officers are currently employed with Memphis PD total?
It fluctuates so much. Right now, I would say it's probably 35, 38.
And how many officers on any given shift are on duty?
Ask me one more time, please.
Yeah, on any particular given shift, how many officers are on duty on any particular shift, on average?
At one hospital,
Yes.
at some hospitals, there's one officer. At some, there could be as many as 4 or 5.
Let's talk about Memphis Central.
We typically run with 3 officers there.
All right, tell the jury a little bit about your background, your experience. Did you have any prior law?
You spelt it. Is it Rangel, is it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, with what department?
I started in 1996 with the Beeville Police Department as a patrolman. And I was there just short of 3 years. I resigned there and I relocated to Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office, which is in the southern part of Texas, McAllen area. I was there about 14 years. And then I took 1 year off law enforcement, and then I ended up in B County Sheriff's Office. As far as some of the duties that I had with Beeville PD, which is my first job, I was a patrolman. I moved up to become a field training officer. And then I relocated to the Sheriff's Office. I started as a patrol deputy, and I got nominated to start the community policing program, which is completely new to South Texas. I was there about maybe 9 months, and then I got moved to civil warrants as far as subpoenas, civil process, dealing with mental patients. I promoted to investigator at the Sheriff's Office. I started with the juvenile investigations, property crimes, and crimes against person. And I went to the robbery homicide division. And then I promoted to sergeant, and as sergeant, I pretty much maintained within criminal investigations. Some other areas, as far as I was a academy instructor at the Sheriff's Office, a firearms instructor, juvenile instructor. I was a negotiator with, we called it the SORT team, but it's the equivalent to a SWAT team, what most people refer to. I was a negotiator and the tactical. I did evidence. I was in charge of evidence, the management system. And at B County Sheriff's Office, I mainly just did field training with criminal investigations.
So approximately when did you start with Memphis PD? What date?
If I'm correct, it was July 28th of 2020.
And were you on duty on October 22nd of 2022 at approximately 11 a.m.?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you recall the time of your shift that day?
On that day, I went in at 10 o'clock, and I was scheduled to get off at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m., 10 a.m. till 2 p.m.
Okay. And do you recall how many other officers were on duty at that time for that particular time frame?
Yes, sir. We had 2 other officers.
Do you remember their names?
Yes, sir. Katricia McCrell, the patrol officer. And we have just to kind of explain it, we call them PRNs, but they're outside police department officers who work part-time with Methodist. PRNs, we had Jaime Hinojosa.
On that date, at approximately between 10:30 and 11 a.m., do you recall receiving a call that sent you to the 4th floor of the Shingle Tower?
Yes, sir.
What was the nature of the call that you received?
It was lost property, and I believe that dispatch aired it out on the radio.
Okay, so what did you do when you got the call?
I responded from the ER, emergency room, I'm sorry, emergency department, and I went up the shingle to the shingle tower, which is the tower where the postpartum is, and then I walked to the 4th floor.
Were you able to make contact with the individuals who made the call?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And take us from there. What happens at that point? You make contact with the individual inside the room, and then what happens?
Part of our procedures within the police department is we have these body cameras. I believe back then we were using WatchGuard. It's a different system to the one that we now currently use. So we always activate our cameras before going into the room, before we make contact with a person or persons. So knock on the door. And I typically always say police department just to kind of identify myself in case I have a wrong room or something. I try to identify myself and I kind of slowly push the door open. I looked inside and there was a gentleman, he was wearing a Dallas Cowboy jersey. And I believe the woman that he was with was his wife. They were in the room. They were needing to file a police report.
And so at some point, do you exit the room?
Yes, sir.
For what reason?
There was a knock on the door. Usually when I walk into the room, because it's patients, I try to close the door behind me to kind of maintain that privacy for the patients. So I closed the door just enough where if somebody walked by, they couldn't see into the room for the patient. There was a soft knock on the door. I turned around and it was a staff member. I don't know if she was a nurse, but I know she was a staff member because we have these hospital regulated IDs that we're required to wear within the hospital. And she walked in pushing some sort of card or something. So I told the people that I was there to talk to, I said, I'm going to give you guys some privacy. And I started to walk out towards the door and they said, no, you don't have to walk outside. And I was like, well, I always have that habit. I just like to give them the privacy right while they're doing whatever they're doing. So I walked outside into the hallway and I just waited there in the hallway while the nurse or the staff member was inside.
So, Ryan, let me ask you this particular unit, the postpartum unit.
Sarah
Is
P.
that an open unit, you can go in and out, or is it secure?
It's secure, if you'll allow me to explain.
Yes, sir, please.
If you're coming up the shingle elevators, I call it a call box button. You have to push the button. And I believe there's like a little camera, mini camera, and then you have to speak to the person inside the unit, means within the secured area. There's a nurse that tries to establish as far as what kind of business you have in there to keep people that aren't supposed to be there outside. So you push the call box, it turns on, one of the staff members opens it. So I would say secure under those, which is typically it's always working.
Okay. So in other words, somebody can't just walk in off the street, they would actually have to be buzzed in by an employee of the hospital.
Yes, sir.
All right, so you indicated that you had stepped out of the room to give the patient some privacy. What happens? Is anything unusual happen at that point?
Yes, sir. I was waiting in the hallway and I was looking at the door where I was supposed to be talking to these people where the staff member was inside. And there's always, I call it foot traffic, pedestrians, the workers inside in the hallways, whether it's a nurse, a doctor, a technician, or any type of hospital employee, there's always foot traffic within the hallways. So I try to kind of like hug the hallway so I won't be blocking the hallway. And as I'm facing the door, the patient door where I'm supposed to be talking to these people, I hear what I would describe as a light bulb that explodes or that pops. If I'm explaining it correctly, like a light bulb that just popped.
Okay, so you got a popping sound?
Yes, sir.
And in your mind, again, you described it as sort of like a light bulb popping?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what are you thinking at that point?
The first thing I'm thinking is, because like a day or two before, I made dinner at home for my kids, and the person who made an error was myself. A light bulb, it was out, and I turned it, and it popped, and it shattered on top of all the food. So when I heard that noise, that's the first thing I thought, because it sounded identical to it. And when I hear the noise, I'm facing the door, so I turn to my right, and I turn scanning that way because there's probably maybe 8 more rooms to my right. And the first thing my mind told me is light bulb. And then I hear what I would describe as someone asking for help. So my mind is like, which room is that coming from?
And so I'm sorry, cut you off, let me just ask you about that. You said that it sounded like somebody was asking for help. Could you tell whether or not the voice that you heard was a male or female voice?
Female.
Okay. And do you recall any specific statements that was made at that time, or was it just a general cry for help?
It was a soft cry for help.
Okay. So what did you do in response?
The next thing that I remember processing in my mind was I saw a drop of blood in the hallway, which at first, before I started working in the hospital, it always drew my attention. because I've never worked in a hospital until I came to Methodist. But within the 3 years that I've been there, seeing droplets of blood on the floor is very, very common, very common. So when I see the drop of blood, my mind is trying to process the noise, that voice I heard, and trying to figure out what's going on at that point.
Did you see anybody else inside the hallway at that point?
There was another nurse, there was a nurse in the hallway, probably maybe 5 feet away from me, give or take.
Okay. Do you know her name? Or did you know her name at the time?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. Can you describe what she looked like?
She was a white female. She had on hospital scrubs that the nurses wear. She had the same color of scrubs that the nurses wear up there in that unit.
And what was she doing when you saw her?
She was kind of facing me, and I remember having I carried a little notepad to write my notes, my field notes. So I think at that point, because I'm waiting for the nurse to finish inside that room, I believe I have the notepad in my hand, one of my hands. So when I hear that noise that I identified as a light bulb, I turn, I see the drop of blood, and I hear a man's voice. I could tell it was a male's voice. And all within that same time, I hear a female start to scream hysterically.
Did you tell what the male voice was saying?
Something like, "This is real." And I could clearly tell that he was very, very angry.
Okay, and how describe the female voice for us? Did you hear any specific words? The female voice was screaming.
The female voice was screaming, "What the fuck? What the fuck?"
And you described the male's voice as angry, very angry, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
How would you describe the tenor of the female's voice, of the tone of her voice?
Overwhelmed, hysterical, and is trying to, from what I could hear and how she sounded, she was trying to understand what was happening.
And just so the record's clear for the jurors, so they're clear, this is after you heard the pop.
Yes, sir.
So describe for us what you do next. You hear the popping sound, you see the nurse in the hallway, you hear the screaming from both voices. What do you do at that point?
I took a couple of steps towards the door where the nurse was in that area. And I believe I tried to talk to her, like to watch out or to move or something like that. Because my mind was really starting to flip out inside of me within everything that was happening. And I tried to tell the nurse to like keep walking or something like that.
You said that your mind was starting to flip out. Why did you feel that way?
In order, and I'm sorry, I have to repeat it for me to try to remember it in order, is I hear what I describe as a light bulb. I hear the female voice, like, "Help." I turn, I see the drop of blood. And I see the nurse standing or kind of making 1 or 2 steps towards where I thought the male and the female, the female had already screamed, "What the F, what the F?" And the man, I could tell he was angry. And it was right in that time that I heard another gunshot. I heard a gunshot that I said, "This is a gunshot."
You heard the gunshot, and then what happened? Were you able to see who was shooting at that point?
I slow walked very slowly. I couldn't see inside the room, but at that time I was like 99% sure that it was coming from the first room to my right, down the hallway. So I'm trying to look into the room without putting myself in that fatal funnel. In my mind, because the man is screaming, the woman's screaming, and then I try to look. I want to look at the nurse, but I don't want to keep my eyes. I don't want to take my eyes off of the door because that's where my danger is. So I try to look over there and look at her, and the third shot is what I remember. The nurse got hit by a bullet, and she tells me, "I'm hurt. I think I've been hit," and I'm just going like this because all in that same time, as I'm getting right towards the door within my field of view, I saw a Hispanic male. He had on blue jeans and a black muscle shirt, and he had a black pistol in his hand.
So going back to you described that when you heard the additional gunshots, that's when you realized that the nurse had been hit because she said something along those lines that it did on her, correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you able to look at her visibly and tell that she's hurt?
I can say with certainty that when I managed to like glance real quick at the nurse, I saw some blood around her neck, and she was holding her neck.
And so going back, you were kind of giving us a description of this individual with the gun, correct?
Yes, sir.
At what point do you recall actually seeing this person with the gun?
It was right around the time that the nurse got hit with the bullet.
So just so we're all clear, you heard 2 additional shots, correct? That was the first initial shot that you found was a light bullet. You heard
Yes.
2 more?
Yes, sir.
Were you able to see who was firing those shots, or did you just hear them?
I heard the shots. I couldn't see who was firing up until the point that I saw the Hispanic male with the pistol in his hand. That's who I identified as the person who was shooting.
So you gave a description of this Hispanic male. Can you describe what the gun looked like?
Based on my personal experience with firearms, I have to say I know it was a dark colored, black color. It looked like maybe a 380.
And the individual that you saw with the gun that day, can you identify that person? Is that person in court today?
Yes, sir.
If I'm in seat number 1, my co-counsel in seat number 2, all the way down the line, please identify what seat number he's seating in.
It's going to be in the 5th seat. He's wearing the black jacket, black tie.
The record reflect this witness have identified the defendant on the court.
The record will serve.
Thank you. Okay, so you get the 2 additional shots. You see the male with the gun in his hand. What did you do with that?
I took a couple of steps back, and I drew. I took out my handgun, and at that same time, the nurse who had been hit, who was standing in the hallway, she's walking towards what I call the charge nurse desk. It's kind of the main desk where the people check in and check out as far as the nursing station. And as I took a couple steps back, my mind was trying to process, right? And my gun, I'm right-handed, so I took my gun out in my right hand, and I put my gun in my left hand because my body was towards the wall, and I knew that if I needed to shoot, I'd have a broader area with my left hand. But I also knew that the male, he retreated back, and so there was a couple of seconds where he and we lost like eye contact with each other, and I'm really short on words. I don't know. I'm going to try to describe it as best I can. If this is the hall right here, this table, I'm walking backwards. The pistol is in my left hand at this time, and at the point that I get to the next room, there's like a small, I call it like a little pocket. You can actually get out of the hallway and you can stand right there. So I retreated to try to take cover. And once I felt that I could get to my radio, which I carry the microphone up here on this side, I communicated to our dispatcher.
And I'm sorry to cut you off, just
Yes, sir.
so the record is clear, you pointed to this side. Which side are you referring to on the right?
I'm sorry about that. My left side.
On the left side.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you keep the radio up on the shoulder area.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you also indicated that you made eye contact with the defendant, that he retreated back. Where did he retreat to?
Inside the room.
Back into the room.
Yes, sir.
Do you recall what room number did this all occurred in?
I don't know, sir.
Okay, that's okay. And so you say he retreated back inside the room, you yourself retreated back, changed the gun to your left hand.
Yes, sir.
And you talked about how you began to make sure that you could call out on the radio. Tell us about that.
Yes, sir. I know on the radio I probably had a stutter moment because we used to use 10 codes where I worked, And at the hospital, we don't use 10 codes. So I know in that moment that I probably use a 10 code.
And what is a 10 code?
A 10 code is a series of preset numbers that police officers use to minimize radio traffic. So if I want to say a man with a gun, I'll say male 1032. That 1032 means someone with a pistol or handgun.
Okay, so on this occasion, you called over the radio, and what was the description?
110 is my call sign or my element number. So I said 110 dispatch. I said there's a male, 1032, up here on postpartum. And I gave him the description, Hispanic male, black muscle shirt, blue jeans. At some point, once I felt that I could safely try to look against the wall to the room number, I gave dispatch the room number.
And to your knowledge, were you the only police officer at the scene at that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you called out for help. Did you have any further contact with the defendant at that point?
At that moment that I was communicating, I was calling dispatch to tell them to send me Dallas police and to send me an additional Methodist police officer. I wasn't talking to the male. I was wanting to make sure that dispatch heard me. And usually the way that I know and they hear is they acknowledge. They'll repeat or they'll say something to acknowledge. And so I wanted to make 100% sure that they heard me. And I wanted to make sure because the radios we have within the hospital sometimes are not reliable. So I wanted to make sure they heard me. And so I was focused on dispatch. And it wasn't until I took some other footsteps, and I'll describe that, but at that moment, no, sir, no, I was not talking to the male.
Okay. At some point, does the male try to come back outside the room?
Yes, sir, he did. As I walked backwards initially, and I tried to take cover in that little pocket area that was in the room down, I moved across the hallway because I didn't want to be in the same spot where he had seen me. So I moved to give myself an advantage. I'm thinking, well, he's going to look for me here. I'm going to be over here. It was after that I crossed the hallway that the male, he came back out of the room. And when I say out of the room, he walked like past the door, and he was looking down the hallway to where he had last seen me.
Could you see if he had anything in his hand at that point?
Yes, sir.
What did he have in his hand?
He had the same pistol that he had in his hand the first time I had seen him.
Okay. You described him as looking down the hallway to see where he last saw you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What do you do at that point?
At that point, it's kind of like time had really slowed down, and probably hadn't, but at that time I had already made a decision within myself that a nurse had been shot, and I only knew about one at that time. And I told myself, I'm the only one up here right now. I would glance to see if McCrail or Jaime and Jose had made their way up to the floor, but at that point they hadn't. So my mind is telling me, if he comes out of the room empty-handed, I'm going to tell him to, keep his hands up and get up on the floor. And I told myself, if he came out with a pistol, I only had one option. And that was to make sure that he didn't get out past the room with a gun.
Okay, so what did you do?
When I saw him, he was looking out of the room. He had the pistol, and I fired one time at his leg.
Why did you fire at that time?
Because I fired at that time because I feared for my life. I feared that if he came out of the room, that he was going to try to shoot more people.
Okay. So how many shots did you fire?
One shot.
And could you tell when you fired that shot whether or not you hit him with that shot?
Yes, sir. I know I hit him.
Okay, how do you know?
The way he jumped back.
Okay. So what happened? What did he do after you were able to tell that you hit him with the shot that you fired?
He went back into the room. There was still a lot of screaming in the room from the female who was in the room.
what she was saying?
I just remember that she was still screaming hysterically. I can't recall what she said.
Okay. Was the defendant making any statements at that time, once he retreats back into the room?
I'm sorry, ask me one more time.
Yeah, did you hear, after you shot the defendant, could you hear him making any statements? So you went back inside the room, was he talking to you, or could you hear anything that he was saying at that time?
He was complaining about his leg, and the female. I think at some point within that second, she kept screaming, "Please don't kill him! Please don't kill him!"
Do you know who she was talking to?
It appeared that she was talking to me.
So what did you do at that point?
At that time, I was trying to find out a name for the room. Officer McCrell, probably at that same time, she made her way to the floor. And I gave Officer McCrell, a description. I think I repeated the description to Officer McCrell. And the room, I can't remember if I just pointed to the room or said room number, but I told McCrell that he was in that room right there.
Were you able to determine a name for the room or who's inside the room?
No, sir. I asked McCrell if she could try to get a name from the charge area because I wanted to try to use a name as a negotiating tool to try to, instead of saying, "Hey, you," but it didn't work at that time.
Okay. Were you able to speak with the defendant at that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell us what you told him and if you got a response from him, from the defendant.
I told him that he needed to throw the gun out of the room. I asked him, I said, "If you can let the people go, just gotta let them go, partner. You gotta let them go. Let's get the people out of there."
And did you get a response from the defendant?
There was a response. It was still non-compliant response.
Did the defendant throw the gun out of the room?
In that second, no, sir. It took a little bit.
Did the defendant come out of the room at that point when you ordered him to come out of the room?
No, sir.
Did anybody come out of the room at that point?
No, sir.
At some point, you realize that some other officers are coming to assist at the scene?
Yes, sir. There was one Dallas Police Department officer. I don't know his name, but he stacked up right across me on the hallway. And I gave him the information as well as the description. And probably within maybe 10, 15 seconds, there was a second Dallas Police Department officer.
Okay, so additional officers came to assist. Do you continue to speak with the defendant at this point and other officers are coming?
I tried. I kept trying to convince him to throw the gun out. And he and I spoke just briefly, a couple of words. And I just kept trying to tell him, "Hey, just come out of the room." I know at some point in time, the female who was in the room said that he couldn't walk.
Okay, so what do you do at that point?
At that point, I know myself, and there was another Dallas Police Department officer who was, we were trying to convince someone to throw the gun out.
At some point, did the gun come out of the room?
Yes, sir.
Do you know who threw the gun out?
I do not.
So after the gun is out of the room, what do you do?
After the gun is out of the room, I can see it in the hallway. Myself and 2 or 3 Dallas Police Department officers, we start to walk up towards the room. And I didn't know it at the time, but Dallas Police Department, they actually had a shield with them, but I didn't know that. And as we're walking, it kind of seemed like they stopped for a second.
You say they, who are you referring to?
I'm sorry, the Dallas Police Department. Yes, sir. In my mind, they stopped. And my mind is like, why are we stopping?
What did you feel like needed to be done at that point?
We needed to at least be able to look into that room because the gun was in the hallway. And I know I had a cover unit. A cover unit means I have a secondary officer, a third officer. So as it kind of seemed like everything just stopped for a second. It seemed longer, but it was probably just a second or two. I take a step back, and then I take a step forward, and I try to take what I call a quick peek into the room, where you just kind of like look in and you look out.
Were you able to see anything inside the room when you did that?
Yes, sir.
What did you see?
The other nurse who had been shot.
Did you appear to be deceased?
Yes, sir.
Okay, were you able to see anybody else inside the room besides the police?
I think on my first quick peek, no, because I was so focused on the nurse who was on the floor.
At some point, were you able to take another look to see if somebody else was inside the room?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who did you see?
I saw the defendant. He was, if I can give you this direction, the hospital bed is situated
Hi, Nancy, by the way. Hi, Nancy.
north and south in a direction inside the room, and he was on the south side of the bed. He was on the floor.
Lying on the floor?
Yes, sir.
Was he face up or face down? What do you recall? If you don't recall, it's okay.
I don't recall.
Okay. At some point, do you make entrance to the room?
I started once I saw him and saw that he was there with blood as well. But then one of the Dallas officers, they grabbed me by my collar, and they were telling me, Sarge, we got a shield. And it wasn't until that they grabbed me that they basically staggered in front of me with the shield. And it was the Dallas Police Department that first made entry into the room, like actually going past the door.
Okay, so our officers able to go in and take custody of the defendant?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did they bring him out to the hallway?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you hear the defendant make any statements at that time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what did you say?
He said that she cheated.
Do you know who the defendant was referring to when he said that she cheated?
I believe that he was referring to the female who was inside the room.
And do officers give first aid to the defendant at that time?
Yes, sir.
Did you assist with that at all, or did you observe that?
I assisted with that.
Okay, what did you do to assist?
They applied a tourniquet to his injured leg, and I was trying to keep his head in an upright position because he was lying on the floor. So I wanted to try to keep his head in a comfortable position.
Did you notice anything about the defendant's demeanor or attitude when he looked? Anything unusual about any of that to you from what you observed?
I'm sorry, ask me again.
Yeah, did you notice anything about the way that the defendant was acting, looked, his just general demeanor, anything off or unusual to you about him?
Just he appeared. Of course, he was in a lot of pain that night because of the way he was moaning, and I was trying to ask him his name, and the main thing I remember him saying is that she cheated. So I try to keep his head upright as the officers put the tourniquet on his leg.
Okay, so after the first aid is done, what happens next?
At some point, I know that the lady was carrying a baby in her arms. I think she still had an IV pole or something. She had some wires on her or something. So I asked her, I said, "Is the baby hurt?" She said, "No." I was like, "Give me the baby." And I basically passed the baby to another Dallas officer or someone, a nurse. I can't remember who it was.
So at some point, the defendant is wheeled away for medical treatment. Did you have any further contact with the defendant after that point?
No, sir.
Okay, what did you do after that? After they wheeled the defendant away?
I took the mother who was inside, the female who was inside the room. I took her down towards the charge nurse area, the nurse desk, and I asked her to sit down in a chair.
Did you check to make sure if there was any other injuries to anyone on the floor when the shooting happened?
Yes, sir. We went into several rooms checking for any other people who might have been hit with gunfire.
Okay, any other injuries that you observed?
No, sir.
Sergeant Whitehill, were you wearing a body-worn camera that day?
Yes, sir.
And was it recording at the time of this incident?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Postal Witness, Your Honor.
You may.
one I was gonna show you was remarked as state exhibit number 17. Can you tell me whether or not you've seen that before?
Yes, sir.
Okay, turn it over. And how do you know that you've seen this before?
That's my signature with a date.
And have you had the opportunity to watch the full video that's contained on this DVD?
Yes, sir.
Does it fairly and accurately depict the events that took place on October 22nd, 2022 at Methodist Central Hospital?
Yes, sir.
Has it been altered or deleted in any way?
No, sir.
It's time to state the offer statement. 17 to the council.
No objection.
State exhibit 17 is admitted for all purposes.
That's right. It's time to state the offer as well. Statement number 15, pursuant to stipulation of the defense, is going to be for the record and floor plan of the hospital. Tender to council.
No objection.
Has that already been admitted?
No.
Okay. State exhibit 15 is admitted for all purposes.
Thank you, Your Honor. And state what further offer state exhibit number 16, which is a crop and zone diagram of the floor plan of the hospital, specifically related to 4-floor shingle. And so, council objection.
No objection.
State exhibit 16 is admitted for all purposes.
Thank you, Your Honor. And further, pursuant to a stipulation of the defense, the state would also offer state exhibit number 13, which is going to be surveillance video from Methodist Hospital. Postpartum South Hall is the view of this particular surveillance video, as well as state exhibit number 14, which is going to be a flash drive containing surveillance video from the public entry.
We have no objection, no objection.
All right, state exhibits 13 and 14 are admitted for all purposes.
Permission to publish to the jury, Your Honor.
Yes, you may.
Just for the record, Your Honor, state exhibit number 14, which is surveillance video from the public entry vantage point, is a total of 8 hours and 24 minutes. However, obviously, we're not going to play the entire thing. We're just going to play some small snippets. And so I'll state for the records, I played every time that we play.
All right, does the defense have any objections?
No.
So for the record, on state exhibit number 14, we're going to skip forward to the actual time, 10:30 and 30 seconds. And for the record, this particular surveillance video does not have any audio.
You need the lights on or off?
You can turn them down. Yeah, thank you. And Sergeant Rondell, you kind of described the setup for us, but as we're looking at state exhibit number 14, what are we looking at in this particular view of the surveillance video?
That is the general public entry, exit doors into the postpartum unit.
And so just to describe for the record, to the left of to the top left of the screen, we see the public entry doors, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And towards the right bottom, you see where the staff members are seated at the nursing station.
Yes, sir.
Is that where, as you described earlier, staff can see who's coming in and buzz people in and out there?
Yes, sir. There's a secretary that sits down. I believe she's in the black. If you see her behind the counter, she's always the one that has that access as far as to see who's buzzing at the door.
So we'll just let this run. I'm going to pause for the record at 10, 30, and 33 seconds. This individual, you can see my pointer. Is this the defendant that you came into contact with the gun that day?
Yes, sir.
Does he appear to have some kind of pan or something in his hand here?
Yes, sir.
For the record, he takes a mask and he continues to proceed down the hallway. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I'm going to pause that video at 10:30 and 41 seconds for the record. So at this time, Sergeant will switch to the South Hall view. Just for the record, this particular video takes exhibit number 13 is a total of 4 hours, 13 minutes, and 13 seconds. We're not going to play the entire thing either. I'm going to skip forward to the record to a time of 10:30 and 37 seconds.
And this was stipulated to by the defense.
Yes, ma'am.
So just to kind of orient the members of the jury, this is looking from the south hall, looking back towards the nursery station. So the top of the screen up here is going to be where the nursery station is located, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that'd be the vantage point of the video we just saw. The public entry is going to be at the top of the screen, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we see at this point the defendant coming down the hallway. And he makes entry into a room. Were you aware that he had entered the wrong room?
It wasn't until after everything that I discovered that.
So for the record, at 10:31:34, we see the defendant come out of the wrong room and then enter the correct room. And I'll pause this at 10:31 and 42 seconds. On that same video, on stage number 13, we'll fast forward to 11:03 and 54 seconds. So if we look back towards the top of the screen, do we see you there in the hallway?
Yes, sir.
See my pointer here. We also see the first deceased complainant, Jacqueline Pakua, also proceeding down the hallway. At 11:05, and approximately 25 seconds, we see Katie Nett Flowers. As you both proceed towards the front of the room, you retreat. Is that when you hear the gunshot?
Yes, sir.
And at this point, we see Katie Nett Flowers proceed towards the nursery station as you testify to, correct?
Yes, sir.
What are you doing at this point in the video? 11:05 and 50 seconds.
Right there, I was most likely communicating to dispatch as far as the male inside with a handgun.
You have your gun out at that time?
Yes, sir.
And it's very quick, so I'll back it up to 11:05 and 11:06 and 15 seconds. As you proceed to the other side of the hallway, we're going to focus our attention, if you see my cursor, to the door of the room.
Yes, sir.
You see the defendant begin to come out. Is that when you shoot?
Yes, sir.
So I'll pause this video at 11:06 and 35 seconds. Next, we'll publish state exhibit number 17, which is going to be your body worn camera video. For the record, Your Honor, Sergeant Ron Hill's body worn camera video is a total of 1 hour, 29 seconds, and 37 seconds. But again, we're going to play a portion of that. going to start Sergeant Martinez's video at the very beginning at 0:00 seconds. So Sergeant Martinez, just for the jury's information, there's no audio for the first 30 seconds of your body cam video. You know what that is?
That's a feature that it's called like a sleep mode. It activates. It goes back 30 seconds before you actually activate it, if that makes sense. If I explained it correctly.
Yes, sir. And just for the jury's information, at this point, no shooting has occurred. You're just responding to the initial call, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anthony? Okay, thank you. Robert, how can I help you all?
We were upstairs later in the visit on the 20th. We had a baby on the 20th.
Yes.
We were there, and they tracked us down here after we had 2 hours, whatever. And I packed up all our stuff, and I was looking for her prescription glasses and the Versace. And I think I left when we didn't left them on the table upstairs. So when I went up to the SWAT, to remember we're supposed to get discharged today or sometime today. So I was like, I just looked through there, and she was like, hey, we left them up there. So I went up there, and they said they couldn't find up there nothing.
Okay.
And they went to the room, and I went to the room and checked. I didn't find nothing, but for sure I know that we left them up there. And they gave me that card that said that who cleaned the room or whatever. I don't know. I'm not saying that she took them there, but we're trying to figure out where we can find the glasses or what happens to the glasses.
Okay. Let me start with this. Let me get some information from y'all. Let me backtrack over there real quick.
Yes, I just looked at the very beginning, and I think all our stuff we had upstairs, we're not nowhere to be found.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Ignacio Salcedo,
What's your birthday, sir?
10/5/76,
What's a good telephone number for you?
314-206-7945.
Address?
3442 Kenmore.
Kenmore, like Kenmore?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's Texas.
Let's go, please.
7523.
Hello, Barbara, did the doctor already saw the result? Okay. So,
I'll give you that.
Meanwhile.
That's okay. Oh, you good? I'll give you a little bit now.
so the property, I call the owner, I call the Gabby. I just looked at it, if you want.
Oh, that's fine. I'll give you a bit of it. Thank you.
Who's there? Hello?
Yes, sir. Take the check. Yeah, dirty copies. Enter, that way down here, 4 people. PPE, when you have your quick. Go ahead. that's a little funny about the situation. So, 006. Come out over here, please, come out. Come outside. Parker. Hey, I'm Robert. What's your name, Parker? What's your name? Talk to me. Okay. Okay, listen, we can work this out, Parker, okay? All I want to do is just get the people outside, please. We can work this out. Just let them outside, okay? Just throw the gun outside. Throw the gun out, please. Throw the gun outside. Parker, we can work this out, man. Trust me. I'm gonna pause it. 7:49. Now, did you know the defendant prior to this date?
No, sir.
You didn't know his name, right?
No, sir.
And so you asked him for his name, and then he says Nestor. Is that accurate based on what we heard?
Yes, sir.
But later on, you're referring to him as Victor. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
Why were you referring to him as Victor? Is that because you didn't hear his name clearly, or what was that about?
When I first heard him say his name, I heard Victor. I think my hearing was a little up and down, and it wasn't until a little later that I found out it's true name. But initially I interpreted Victor when he spoke.
Okay. But just to be clear for the record and for the jury, this person that you're conversing with is the defendant in this case, Nestor Hernandez, correct?
Yes, sir. Correct.
Okay. And so you asked him, you tell him that we can work this out. It's the audio that we heard. What was did you hear his response?
I couldn't make it out. I heard him respond. I wasn't sure what he said.
Okay. Exactly. Throw the gun outside. Throw the gun out, please. Throw the gun outside. Parker, we can work this out, man. Trust me. I've got no idea, but I don't even know who you are. He says, no, I ain't no working shit out. Is that what you heard?
Yes, sir.
One thing to say. At this point, I want to know, is there the male visitor that wore a black, wants a t-shirt, I believe it's blue jeans, Hispanic, I believe about maybe 20 to 25 years of age. It's female, I believe on the biggest side, 4006.
Hey, Martin, can you hear me? Martin, throw the gun outside, please. Throw the gun out. Parker, listen to me now. Throw the gun out, please.
Hispanic male. I don't know if the chief is still here. Where's Jaime?
Parker, listen to me now, please. Let them outside. Parker, please, man, just do me a favor. Let them outside, please. Let them outside, please. That's all I'm asking. Let them outside, please. Let them out of the room.
No. Hispanic male, black muscle t-shirt. All I know is the female, I think the baby inside. I think the shooter, the male is a shooter. That's what you're saying. Hispanic, about maybe 5'5". probably about 20, 24 years of age. All I could see was a black pistol. No, he walked in the room, he was coming out, but he had the gun in his hand, I shot one time and he went back in the room. Get him outside, please, partner. Partner, we can work this now. Come on, work with us. Work with us. Work with us, please. Yes, sir, I'm listening. Let him outside, buddy. Come on. Come on, man. You gotta give us something. Come on. Hey, bro. See if you can get the name to that room number, please. Last name is something I can work with. Victor, come on, man. Work with me, brother. I'm messy, brother. I'm here. Throw the gun outside, man. Come on. Throw that gun outside, brother. Come on, work with me. Throw that gun out. Come on, man. Come on, Victor. Work with me, man. Come on. Okay. Hands up. Hands up in the air. Hands up in the air, please. Hands up in the air, please. Hands up in the air. Come on. Come. Hands up in the air, Victor. Come on. What are we doing now? I'll give you my word. He ain't got nothing in his hands. Okay. Victor, go ahead and do it now, please, come on. Does he got a gun in his hand? Does he got the gun in his hand? George, get out of here. Victor, come on, man. Work with me, man. Work with me. Come on. Come on, you gotta come out. You gotta give us something. Please, brother, I'm asking you. Come on. Hey, we're not gonna shoot him. Come up with your hands up in the air. Come on. I just need to see your hands. That's all. That's all I want to see. Your hands up in the air. Can you hear me now? Talk to me. Does he have the gun in his hand? Man, does he have the gun in his hand? We need the gun out the hallway. Throw the gun out the hallway. Throw it out, please. Come on. Come on, throw it out. Throw the gun out. Okay, throw the gun outside. Throw the gun outside. We need the gun outside. I need the gun outside, please. I need to see your hand. Okay. Come on, your hands up. Come on, hallway. You got that. Come on. Stand up, hands up. Throw it out. Throw it out. Keep coming to the hallway. Lead to the hallway. Crawl down the hallway. Put your hands out. You never move. It's another video there. I'm not sure if you're going to crawl out slowly. Thank Victor. Victor, crawl out slowly. It's a video there. It's a video. Man, can you not that much? I'm like everything. Come on out. Okay, talk, where's Victor at? Where you at, Victor? Put your hands up, Victor. Victor, can you walk? Victor. Victor. Man, where's Victor at? Does he no more gun in his head? Hands up, hands up. Can you move, man? This room connects. No, it does not. One nerve. At least we can serve
So I found the video at 23:07. For whatever reason, Sergeant Rondell, the kind of towards the end of the video, the audio is about 5 seconds ahead of the video. Do you know why that is?
I'm sorry, ask me one more time.
Yeah, if we're looking at the video, we can kind of see that the audio that we hear is a little bit ahead of the video. So like you'll hear the audio and then you'll see his mouth move. Do you know why that is?
That was I'm not going to say a feature, that was a defect that, not Axon. Axon is our current, the former, oh my God, I forgot the name of it, WatchGuard. WatchGuard had that lag where I'm talking, but it's talking up here as far as in timeline.
Okay, but we can clearly hear the defendant say she was cheating on me, and then maybe like 5 seconds later, 5 or 8 seconds later, she cheated on me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Turn the light back on, please. Thank you. So Sergeant Rondell, Dallas Central, I'm sorry, Methodist Central Hospital where this occurred, which is in the county of Dallas County,
Yes, sir.
state of Texas.
Yes, sir.
And the handgun that the defendant used to shoot the social worker and the nurse, was that a firearm?
Yes, sir, it is.
Was a firearm considered a deadly weapon?
Yes, sir.
What kind of gun did you have that day? What gun did you use to shoot the defendant with?
It was a department issued Glock 9mm.
Just a final few questions. Can I have the witness step down for a quick moment to show the jury where he's located on the diagram real quick?
Yes.
Take on state exhibit number 16. We have offer for demonstrative purposes only. Permission for the witness to step down off the witness stand.
Yes.
You can approach the diagram.
Yeah, they do.
You can just kind of orient the jury.
Weirdly, they do.
You can show us where the nurse's station is. Okay, and then the public entry video that we saw, where would that be located on the diagram? Okay, and can you show the jury on the diagram where the shooting took place, that particular room that we just saw in the body worn camera video? Okay, and where were you located when you responded to the initial call? Where was that room located?
I'm not sure the jurors on this side can see. I'm sorry. Yeah, they didn't see it.
Can we move this a little closer?
Can I hold her seat?
You want to stay closer?
Y'all can stand up.
All right, thanks. So you can take your seat back on the stand. Thank you. I'll stay past this.
Officer Rankin, I just have a couple of questions for you, if I might, sir.
Yes.
During the playing of those video clips for the jury, that pretty much showed what you were able to, the camera pretty much captured exactly what you were able to see at the same time, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, there is at the point in time when you actually shot the defendant in the leg, you never see the defendant on the video screen, do you? From your vantage point.
On the video screen?
On the video camera, your body camera.
No, sir. No.
I mean, it's blocked by the wall there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you actually ever see the defendant prior to the time that you engaged with him and actually shot him?
Can you, I just want to make sure I'm understanding your question.
Did you ever physically lay eyes upon the defendant at any time prior to your engaging with him and shooting him in the leg?
Yes, sir.
And when exactly was the first time you saw him?
It was when the nurse was in the hallway, right about that time where she was shot, that I saw the defendant come out of the room with a pistol in his hand.
Okay, and did you see him before or after the pistol discharge?
After if I may, kind of going back just so I can make sure that I'm explaining it correctly. I'm standing in the hallway. I'm waiting to go back into the room where they had dispatched me to go take this report. I hear what I describe as a light bulb pop. I turn. Between that time that I hear the light bulb noise, there was a second gunshot, and then there was another shot where the nurse got hit in the hallway.
Right. Now, from the video that we've observed, at the time that the nurse appears to have been in the hallway, appears to have been shot, you were on the right side of the hallway, were you not?
Correct. Yes, sir.
And the doorway itself was in a recess on the same side of the hallway that you were on, was it?
Yes, yes.
So is it your testimony that the defendant came out of the room all the way into the hallway where you could have seen him from the same side of the hallway?
If I may correct, when I saw the defendant, he wasn't standing like in the hallway. He kind of peeked out. He peeked out of the doorway just enough where I could see him. I clearly saw what he was wearing, and then when I looked at his hands, that's when I saw the pistol. But he was still in that what I call that pocket area.
Yes. And you saying that this occurred before or after the discharge of the firearm that struck the second nurse? That's fine, sir. Well, the video will speak for itself. We'll revisit that issue. The last question I want to ask you, sir, or the last series of questions. The video shows that at the time that you, as well as the other officers, reached into the room, it shows the female in that room standing on the left side of the bed, or what would be the closest side of the bed to the front door of the room, correct?
Correct.
Did you observe any obstruction or anything that would have kept her from being in that location earlier, before y'all came in the room?
Obstruction meaning?
Was there anything that kept her from being in that particular location that she was in? Did you see any cords or anything, any IV cords, anything that was preventing her from standing there where she was when you entered the room?
Not like a blockage, if that's what you're asking me, or cords.
Well, basically, I just want to bring up the point with you that when the door finally opened, you guys went into the room. She was standing there between the bed and the restroom in that room, correct?
Yes, sir.
I believe that's all I have for you right now, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just one question, please. Sergeant Rondell, real quick, I'm just going to show you a brief portion of State Statement number 17, divided on camera again, where for the record at 303, we see an individual here in some blue scrubs. Does this appear to be the deceased individual that you saw in the room later on?
Yes, sir.
For the record, that would be the deceased individual, Jacqueline Clue. All right, that's all I have, Judge. I'll thank you.
Nothing further this time, Judge.
All right, may this witness be released?
No, Judge, for the state trial.
Subject to recall.
Thank you, Sergeant. Please remain within earshot in case either side wants to call you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, would y'all like a 15-minute break at this time?
Yes.
All right, let's do that. Let's come back at 2:50. All right.
Maybe I'll just shut the camera off, and then the camera is completely turned off and nothing goes out.
What are we thinking? Are you enjoying this? It's a little bit different, isn't it? It's a little bit different. Josie, I saw you say something about I'm usually pro defense, but this one made me mad. So I think it's a difficult one because he's guilty. He's killed 2 people. So I think that's the difference in this trial. So There is no defense on it. The only thing that he's battling now is capital, whether he gets the chair or not. That's what it is, from my understanding. I recognise the name though. I do like this one. Happy days. Who's in chat there, guys? Who's around? There's a few people around. Don't be shy. Say hello in chat. I know we lost a couple because of the sound, but the sound's okay for me. If I'm being completely honest, I think the sound's fine. I think the captures are good.
Good, sir. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. You could
Fuck.
introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling
Oh.
out the court order.
Hang on.
Yes, my name is Emmanuel Escuela, ENMANUEL ESQUEA.
And how are you employed, sir, currently?
Currently, I work for the Department of Homeland Security.
Okay, do you live in Dallas?
No.
Order.
Yes, my name is Emmanuel Escuela, ENMANUEL ESQUEA.
Whoa, right, whoa. Fucking slow down, son. Slow the fuck down, like. Jesus. He's bloody going too quick, man. Home. Right. He said Emmanuel. Right, hang on. How do you spell it? Esqua.
ENMANUELESQUEA.
And how are you employed, sir, currently?
Currently, I work for the Department of Homeland Security.
Okay, do you live in Dallas?
No, sir.
Okay, where are you currently located?
I have no idea.
Where do you work prior to your current position?
I was a police officer for the Dallas Police Department.
And how long were you with the Dallas Police Department?
5 years.
Oh,
So what are your current duties?
Techie got it. Right, how far off was I? SESQ. Ah, the E is out. Thank you, Mecky. You see my BFF, Mecky. See what I got to do here, Mecky. Balance and everything here. I'm a hero. I'm a hero doing all this. Right, here we go.
Currently, I'm a federal law enforcement for the Department of Homeland Security. When surrounding counties arrest citizens, or not citizens, but migrants that are removable from the United States, they take them to the intake center. Then I process them to see an immigration judge.
Okay. Let me take you back to the day of October 22nd, 2022, where you worked out police department at that time.
I was.
What were your duties at that time, sir?
I was assigned to patrol, sir. My duties were responding to calls for service.
Okay, do you recall receiving a call at the Methodist Central Hospital that day while you were on duty?
Yes, sir.
What was the nature of the call?
The nature of the call, I believe it came out as a active shooter call.
Were you alone or did you have a partner with you that day?
At the time, my partner and I don't remember his name, we were in West Dallas finishing another call for service when the active shooter call came out.
Okay, and did you in fact respond to the active shooter call at the hospital?
Yes, sir.
Okay, describe for the members of the jury what happened when you got there to the hospital.
Yeah, absolutely. So once we got the call, my partner and I, we dropped what we were doing and we headed to the hospital. And as we were driving, we have a computer in the screen. And every time someone calls, you keep seeing notifications that someone else called, and they were all saying the same thing on the call sheet. I've been to Methodist Hospital a few times, so I had a good idea where the maternity ward was, which was where the call for service was. So I parked down there in Sallyport. I drive these, it's called the CERT car, which has some of the breaching equipment in the trunk, like a slammer and a ballistic shield. So myself and a few other officers that arrived there at the same time, we parked there and I started getting some of the equipment. I didn't know if we would need it or not. So I, of course, grabbed the shield and I gave the breaching equipment, the sledgehammer, to one of my partners that was there with me. So we go in through the first floor and then we see some people walking around and we all go into the elevator, at least 4 or 5 of us.
At some point, do you make it to the location where the shooting occurred?
Excuse me?
At some point, do you make it to the location where the shooting occurred on the 4th floor?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what's going on there at the scene when you got there? You can describe what's happening.
Yeah, so as soon as the elevators opened, the first thing you see was it was silent, and the first thing you see was a pool of blood. And I guess that's the first time I realized like this is something serious. I realized like that something would happen. So we went through the doors on the left, and then we see officers stacked up on both sides of of the hallway. I don't remember what agencies there were, but I was the one with the shield, so I knew eventually that I had to make my way to the front because that was the only way we were getting inside the room. So we eventually push up, and then I face the front of the door. Then I see one of the healthcare's worker's body on the ground, covered in blood, and she wasn't responding. And I saw another man's body on the floor face down. I felt like we were there for minutes on end, but we kept giving him commands and commands and commands to come out, but we wouldn't respond. So eventually one of the officers kind of like pushed me forward to go in.
And so, just to be quick, officer, were you the first to enter the room?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and when you said you saw a man lying face down on the ground, did you know who that person was?
At the time, I did not, sir.
And so at some point you make entry into the room, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what happens when you make entry into the room? I'm gonna ask you this, was there anybody else inside the room besides the deceased worker and the male?
There was the male, and then there was the mother there was a mother holding an infant child in the room also.
So what happened when you make entry into the room?
So I enter the room and I step over the woman's body, and I had to put the shield down. So I put the shield down, and I grab the man's hand, and another officer, we put handcuffs on that man.
So the man that you placed handcuffs on that day, are you able to identify that person?
No, sir.
Wow.
At that time, he was face down, covered in blood, and I did not get a good chance to actually see his face, sir.
And so once you place handcuffs on him, what happens at that point?
At that point, other officers carry him out of the room, and I believe some officers put a tourniquet on his leg from what I saw, sir.
Okay. Did you have any further contact with the person that was arrested that day after that point?
After that, sir, I briefly had contact with him while we escorted him to another floor to take him to some doctors that would tend to his injuries. And besides that, no, sir.
Okay. Were you equipped with a body-worn camera that day?
Yes, sir.
Was it recording?
It was, sir.
Mr. Post, will you show?
You may.
So I'm going to show you what's been marked as state exhibit number 18. Does this look familiar to you?
Yes, sir.
And is this a DVD containing your body-worn camera video from that day, October 22nd, 2022?
Yes, sir.
Have you had an opportunity to watch this entire recording?
I have.
Does it fairly and accurately depict the events that took place at Methodist Central Hospital that day?
Yes.
Has it been changed or altered in any way?
No, sir.
It's time, y'all. Based on officer statement number 18.
Okay.
State exhibit 18 is admitted for.
Mr. Pope, y'all. But for the record, Judge, this video is 47 minutes and 1 second. However, the state is only going to play the first 4 minutes of it.
Let's take Lucy. Okay, I'll get it. Who's up that? To the left. I will be now. She'll come up. Come on,
Yes, Katie, we're still switching over. We're still switching over. About 20 minutes, right?
That's no question, John.
All right, Vegas, will this be released?
No objection.
Thank you. Call your next witness.
They call Joshua Barone.
Come on, let's get on it. We're on it. There's about half an hour left. Oh, I said 11:30 my time. Actually, I'm doing quite well here. Let's look at the poll. Okay, majority of people enjoying it. Good. I'm enjoying it. If I'm being honest, it's something different. Something different.
I apologize, Judge. They call Jonathan Anderson.
Anderson?
Yes.
Something. Jonathan Anderson.
Do you swear, would you raise your right hand? Do you swear that the testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Thank you, Anderson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, officer. Could you introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling for the court order?
My name is Officer Jonathan Anderson. That's JONATHANANDERSON.
And also, you're an officer with the South Police Department.
Yes, that's correct.
How long have you been with DPD?
Since March of 2014.
Okay, what are your current duties?
Currently, I'm on assignment in the patrol in Southwest Division.
All right, let me take you back to the date of October 22nd, 2022, when you were with DPD at that time.
Yes.
And do you recall responding to an active shooting call at Methodist Central Hospital on that day?
Yes, I do.
Just describe for the members of the jury, did you respond to the hospital?
I was actually in the emergency parking for the ambulances. I just went
I do. I've got a 1.25. Yes, 1.25.
there to use the restroom when the call came out.
Okay, when you got called, what you do?
There were 3 other officers actually that were nearby. So we all grouped up. I grabbed my rifle and we went to the hospital.
Okay, and did you at some point arrive at the location where the shooting took place?
Yes, I did.
Okay, what did you do when you got there?
I assessed the scene. We got to the correct floor. We tried to determine which way we needed to go, where the threat was. I remember I looked to my right and I saw that there was a one that had been shot. It was on the ground.
Can you describe what that person looked like?
Female, a white female.
Did she appear to be moving or anything you could tell as far as her talking, moving, anything like that?
She wasn't moving. And at that point, some other individual came and started to give her aid, trying to remove her from that area.
And what did you do at that point?
I continued with the rest of the officers down the hallway. We were directed to where, well, we made a left turn down the hallway to where there were more officers that were already in the hallway. And they were taking a position to, I guess, have some cover from where the shooter was at. So we just continued making our way down the hallway to try and get to the room where the shooter was.
At some point, after other officers were given commands, did you all make entry into the room?
Yes, yeah, we finally did.
Okay, what happened when you went inside the room?
The female was there who had just, I guess, given birth to the baby. So we we're trying to get her out of the way and make sure it was safe and take the suspect into custody.
Okay, and you were able to take the suspect into custody?
Yes, we were.
Are you able to identify that suspect?
Yes.
Today? If I'm seated in seat number 1, co-counsel seat number 2, what seat would you be seated in?
Seat number 5.
Okay, reflect this witness as identified and stand on support.
The record will so reflect.
Officer Anderson, were you equipped with a body worn camera that day?
Yes, I was.
And was it recording?
Yes, I was.
Have you had an opportunity to review the recording?
Yes.
United States not overstate the 19 recording of Los Angeles.
Okay.
States Exhibit 19 is admitted for all purposes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Permission to close to the jury.
You may.
For purposes of the record, Joshua Anderson's video is a total of 33 minutes and 50 seconds. The Lord knows that portion of that as well. And we'll start at time 2:25 on the run.
Where's the shooter? Where's the shooter? Where? Which direction? This way, to my left. Okay? I got one right the other way. Joe, get out of here! Yeah. Please, brother, I'm asking you, come on.
Close the video 3:30 for purposes of time. I'm going to skip forward to a timestamp of 8:15.
Talk to me. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. You're moving there.
Just a quick question, Officer Anderson. Does Ms. Villatoro, the female with the baby, that she appeared to be hooked up to an IV?
Yeah. Yes, she was still hooked up.
And was that what she was indicating, why she couldn't come out of the room when y'all were boarding out of the room earlier, so she was hooked up to an IV?
I don't know exactly why at that point, but that when I was in the room, that's why she was not trying to leave the room.
Let's get here. Go to another room. Let's get her out of here. Come on. What do you do? Go to a different room. I don't know what to do. Go to a different room. She's like, we need a nurse come disconnect. Can someone go disconnect them out here? We need someone disconnected from that. She's got an idea. We gotta have nurse come disconnect her. Have a seat on the bed. We got a nurse come as soon as we can, okay? I know. Have a seat. If you want to sit down, okay? Stop. Vital check. You disconnected it? All right, let's get you moved up to the room. Hold on a second. Let's put it in.
All right, Officer Anderson, after the defendant was taken out of the room, did you have
It's
any-
crazy.
No, I did not.
We have no questions, John.
All right, Davis, what is the release?
Objection, State Trial?
It was crazy. Well, do you want your nurse or a doctor trying to revive somebody on the floor? The fire brigade come in and go, no, get out. And they're trying to pull a woman with an IV stuck to her out of the room. What the hell's going on? Sorry if that's too loud. Well, that is loud shit. I've turned my mic down again. Jonathan, why does the input volume always just change all the time? Jonathan? Jonathan? Why does this always do that? No? The input volume goes up without me saying anything. Hello? Should I just be more quiet like this? No, it goes up itself. The input volume goes up itself, Jonathan. It is chaos, Nunia. I'll show you after this now. Oh, okay.
Raise your right hand for me. Please swear that the testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Take a seat.
Thank you, Your Honor. Afternoon, officer. If you could please introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling for the court.
Officer Williams, from Southwest Patrol.
What's your first name?
Dominique,
You can please spell it for the court reporter.
DOMINIQUE,
Okay, how long have you been with DPD, Officer Williams?
9 years.
What's your current assignment?
Southwest CRT,
What is CRT?
Crime Response Team.
And what is that? What y'all do in that unit?
We respond to, I guess, high crime areas and saturate the area, and also respond to, we run warrants and respond to people that do multiple crimes at the same in the same area.
Okay. Were you with BPD on duty on October 22nd, 2022?
Yes, sir.
Were you with CRT at that time?
No, sir.
Okay, what were you doing at that time?
Second watch patrol at Southwest.
Do you recall responding to an active shooter at the Memphis Central Hospital on that particular day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and did you in fact respond to that call?
Yes, sir.
When you got to the hospital, just kind of describe for the jury what was the condition of the scene, what was going on there?
Just a lot of chaos. A lot of officers stacked up in the hallway. People running, people pointing.
Okay. At some point, did you come into contact with the defendant?
Yes, sir.
And how was that? How did that come about?
Once we stacked up on the door to make entry to get him, we stacked up, went in, we arrested him, brought him out to the hallway. We laid him on the ground. I put the tourniquet on and cut his pants open. We plugged the bullet wound and held pressure until somebody came to help him.
Can you identify the person that was taken into custody that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna seat number 1. Okay, I'm seat number 2 along down the line. Let's see number you at.
Seat number 5.
When the record was given to identify the defendant was over 40.
The record was so reflective.
Officer Williams, were you wearing a body worn camera that day?
Yes, sir.
Have you had an opportunity to review that body worn camera?
Yes, sir.
And did the very late act of defense that took place that day while you're in hospital?
Yes, sir.
Say officer statement number 22.
No objection.
Since it's been 22, is admitted for all purposes.
Which goes to the jury.
You may.
So Officer Williams' video is total 15 minutes, 24 seconds. We're going to about 8 minutes. The record will start at the time of 1:35 on 1:36. Excuse me.
Hey, see up there. Wait. You cover. Hey, you have my right now. Walk out with your hands up. Walk out with your hands up. Hey, you get the door. I took the door. Hey, who's he got in there?
picture right here, Judge. And just what we got the video calls at 6:40. Officer Williams, there's a big splotch on the front of your camera here. What was that?
Blood.
From who?
Suspect.
And then, my dad, we didn't tell him get out, okay? We gotta get you out first and then I'll put something on, okay? You gotta walk with it, work with it, okay? You gotta work with Garden? All right, come on, Hey, get him down. Hey, sit him down. He need to turn it. He need to turn it. Keep it down. Come on. Hey, which way, bro? Now I'm already. Hey, I'll sit down. Yeah, that was
Officer Williams, were you able to hear the statement that the defendant made right before hostage?
Yes, sir.
What did he say?
He cheated on me.
Do you know who he was referring to at that time?
No, sir.
That's what, John.
No question.
No objection.
No question.
Thank you, sir.
There's one more witness. And that's it.
They call James Mismatch.
One more time. One more. Right, Jonathan. Why does my input volume keep rising? It just goes up without me touching it. Whenever I speak, it goes from 32, and in a minute now we'll go up to 50. This is now 50. And before long, we'll go up to about 66, 87, and 100. What the fuck?
Do you swear that the testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Thank you. You can sit.
Thank you, Your Honor. Afternoon, sir. If you could please introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling for the court order.
I'm Detective James Mismash, Mismash.
And how are you feeling for it, sir?
I'm a detective with the Dallas Police Department.
Oh, I didn't think of that. No way did I get that.
Thank you, Your Honor. Afternoon, sir. If you could please introduce yourself to the jury by stating your name and spelling for the report.
I'm Detective James Mismash, Mismash.
And how are you currently employed?
I'm a detective with the Dallas Police Department.
What are you assigned to a particular unit?
I am. I'm assigned to the Southwest CRT and Deployment Unit.
And what do you do in that unit?
Our main assignment is to do rapid apprehension of active offenders.
Okay. Let me take you back to the date of October 22nd, 2022. Do you recall responding to an active shooter call at Memphis Central Hospital?
I do.
Okay. If you can describe for the members of the jury, did you respond to the hospital?
I did.
And describe for the members of the jury what you did when you got there.
I arrived at the hospital, was led on to elevators up to the 4th floor, where I was admitted by some medical personnel that had a card to get the doors unlocked. When I got up there, there were two other officers that are members of my squad that were performing first aid on a person that was down in the hallway. At that point, one of them had asked me, they needed some cutters, and I had a pair of cutters in my tactical vest, and I helped them with the person that they were working on in the hallway.
Okay. And the person that they were working on, did you know who that individual was?
I did not at the time.
Okay, you know who that person is now?
Yes, I do.
And was that the subject of the active shooting case?
Yes, it was.
Nestor Hernandez?
Yes.
Can you identify this person in court today?
Far left side, my far left side at the desk, wearing a black suit coat, black tie, and gray shirt.
And Rick, this witness has identified this case on the court. So are you on the scene, on the crime scene, Detective Mismash, did you collect any kind of evidence?
I did.
So you can explain, describe for the jurors what evidence you collect. I guess in a couple different places. I guess in the active crime scene, when you're doing the first aid, did you collect anything there?
I did. I collected a pistol magazine that had ammunition in it.
Okay. And did you also later on, tell us what you do after first aid was given to the defendant?
I picked the magazine up that was laying on the floor because it was still an active scene, and I was afraid it would get lost or destroyed. So I picked that up. The defendant who they were working on was put onto a gurney, and he was taken down into the emergency room, at which point he was handcuffed. When he got into the emergency room, they wanted me to take the cuffs off. I rode down in the elevator.
Were you wearing a body worn camera that day?
I was.
Was it recorded?
Yes, it was.
No objection.
Stacy, is it 20 minutes admitted for all purposes?
Commissioner Public briefly, Your Honor.
You may.
Just for the record, Detective Mismash's video is told 2603. We're just going to play a small portion of Detective Mismash picking up the magazine and then later on taking the ID card from the emergency room. So for the record, we'll start at a time of 5 minutes and 6 seconds.
That's probably evidence with
But just, we saw you pick it up, just so we're clear, was that the gun magazine that you just picked up there?
Yes, it was.
Heads up, they're gonna put him on this stretcher. Yeah, we can do have it in here either. Hey, come on up. It don't matter, it's just. Let's go. We need a team. I got it. I got it. I don't have a key card. Will you come with us? We got locked in earlier. Yeah.
who are those guys in the red jackets like? Because there's fire department on them. Are they just firemen?
They're opening these doors to the right, to the right. Hey, you probably don't cut those pants off, 'cause I don't know that he's been doing it. I don't think he had the original gun, but get those fucking pants off of him. Or we're in here. He has been? No, he is not. That's what I'm telling you. Cut the pants.
Pause for the record at 10 minutes, 32 seconds. Is this when you receive the ID card?
Yes.
Okay, just for purposes of time, we'll fast forward to 15.
Okay, that makes sense. I just don't get why they're pushing doctors out of the way though. Nurses out of the way.
I don't know who handed it.
I've never seen. Okay.
Nestor Hernandez.
Nestor Hernandez. We'll pause for the record at 15 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay, so Sean, thank you.
No question.
Make this witness be released.
Objection to the state, Your
No
Honor.
objection.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
I was wondering because I saw them tell that nurse or doctor to get out of the way to stop giving that life-saving to the nurse. I just thought that was funny why, obviously, if they're different to firefighters, they're different to what we're used to, that's all. I think that's it. Right, I want to do this, Jonathan. Jonathan, are you there? Then we can move on then. Share screen. Oh, jeez. Is it there? If I share the window. Jonathan. Good. So, you guys say about my volume, right? I bring my volume down to 32%, right? Like that. But if I speak, all of a sudden it just goes up naturally. 45, 67, 83, 100. How the hell does it do that? So that's why every time I speak to you guys, you go, put your volume down. Well, it is down, but it just goes up on its own. for whatever reason. No, it's not doing it. Oh, no, it is doing it. Jonathan, explain this though. When you see it, explain it. Why is it going up to 97? I'll take it down 16, 15. But I guarantee we'll go back up now once I start speaking properly. Well, it's stuck at 15 now. Look at that. Will it stay there? Will it go up? Oh, there it goes. It goes up. And it just goes up itself. I can't. What? Why? Anyway, let's stop the stream. This should take you automatically to the next stream, guys. So hopefully see you there. If not, damn, let me get a link just in case. That Jonathan can explain later on why that is the case for me. Right, share. There you go. And I'm closing stream. Free Zachary Anderson. See you in the next stream.